Everything has come unglued for the establishment, for the uniparty. Everything is going great for Trump. I'm going to start today talking about these two interviews Trump did. The one for Meet the Press that's going to air on Sunday. That's big. I'll tell you why. And then Megyn Kelly, which I watched. And we'll talk about this fake charges that they have against Hunter. We're going to get into all of that. We'll be on the air in less than a minute. And, of course, it is Open Phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. Any and everything you have on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. All right? You can call in toll-free no matter where you're at. 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We're about to come on the air. And so much to cover. Oh, man. It's just so much news today. And it's all good for Trump. And if it's good for Trump, it's good for the country.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve King Show with Brian Craig.
All right. Yes. Good morning, one and all. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. If you're new, this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome. If you love Trump, you will love this program. If you don't, listen anyway, because you will love Trump. And we'll vote for him on Election Day. You'll be converted, I promise you. Okay, we've got so much to cover today. I've got a huge story on Ron DeSantis coming up. A big story on Ron DeSantis. Stay tuned for that. We'll talk about these fake charges against Hunter Biden, the scummiest first child in history. But I want to first talk about these President Trump interviews. There's two interviews that President Trump did. One we saw yesterday. One we will see on Sunday in its entirety, but some has been leaked already. And I want to talk about these interviews. The Megyn Kelly interview and then the Meet the Press interview. And the first I want to talk about is the Meet the Press interview. This is an amazing interview, okay? This Meet the Press interview. Kristen Welker, who I'm going to tell you some details about in a little bit, about how she got to where she is. Oh, boy. Almost as bad as Kamala, and how she got where she is. A little different way, but similar. But Kristen Welker, so they have fired the boring old white guy from Meet the Press. What did Rush call him, or was it Mark Levin? Chuck Todd? I can't remember. Chuck Todd is out, and they've replaced him with Kristen Welker. So her debut is this weekend. Kristen Welker's debut on Meet the Press is this weekend, right? So her first interview on her first show is the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. And what does that tell you, right? This is her big debut, Kristen Welker, her first interview on her first show, the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. She could have interviewed anyone she wanted. Biden. She probably could have even got Hunter. She could have interviewed Zelensky. She could have interviewed anyone from the four corners of the earth, and she picked Donald Trump. So what does that tell you? That, yes, he's the most interesting man in the world, and the most influential man in the world. And Kristen Welker, who wants to come in with a big bang where everyone's talking about her, and for the first time since Tim Russert passed away years ago, NBC's Meet the Press will have some viewers and some ratings. And that tells you that Kristen Welker, Meet the Press, NBC News, this is their premier show. This is their diamond, okay, this show, that they believe the most influential politician, political person, candidate, whatever you want to call him, the most important man on the planet Earth is Donald Trump. And that's a pretty significant thing. That is a poll, in effect. Okay? That's a poll. Yeah. Now, Kristen Welker, for those, I know all about her because I've been following her for quite some time, unfortunately. She moderated one of the debates last time, and she's a big-time Democrat. Now, I know what you say. Well, all these people in the media are liberal. Yeah, but they pretty much are, but she's different. This is an article that was written about her a couple of years ago when it was announced she was going to moderate the Trump-Biden debate. Okay? Now, she's been the White House correspondent for NBC News for a long time, since 2011. Okay? But listen to this. This is the new hostess of Meet the Press on NBC. Call us on hold, stand by. Okay? We will go to the phones after the first break. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. And remember, this is Friday. And on Friday's show, it is open phones. We don't like to call it Open Phone Friday because that was Rush's thing, and we don't want to steal from the great late Rush Limbaugh. So we call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Open MAGA Mike Friday, any and everything that's on your mind is fair game on the program. We, as Rush used to say, turn the program over to rank amateurs. So you can talk about anything you want on Open MAGA Mike Friday at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. But then I'll go to the phones after the break. So the new hostess of NBC's Meet the Press, who wants to make a big splash, and so she believes that if you want ratings and relevancy, talk to Donald Trump for your first interview on your first show. But listen to this. Kristen Welker comes from a well-established Democrat family who have poured lots of cash into the Democrat Party and to opponents of Donald Trump. Her mother is a prominent real estate broker in Philadelphia. Her father is a consulting engineer, whatever that is, and have donated tens of thousands of dollars to Democrat candidates and tens of thousands of dollars directly to Barack Obama. Family's also donated to Hillary Clinton and to the DNC. Now this is a big time donor. Now listen to this. Now this is something I've talked about this from time to time over the years and a lot on my podcast. In 2012, this is the new hostess of Meet the Press who's interviewing President Trump. Already interviewed him, but the interview will air over the weekend. In 2012, Kristen Welker and her family celebrated Christmas at the White House with the Obamas. And there's a picture. So it's a little more detailed. Kristen Welker, the new hostess of NBC's Meet the Press, and both of her parents spent the night at the White House Christmas Eve and woke up Christmas morning and celebrated Christmas morning with the Obamas. Now that's a pretty big deal because at the time, Sasha and Malia Obama were still little kids. So Kristen Welker and her parents are so well connected in the donor class that the Obamas spend Christmas morning and Christmas Eve with them, with their little girls. Who is at your house on Christmas morning or Christmas Eve? Right? Grandma and Grandpa, you, your spouse, and your kids. That's it, right? That's right. Big question is, obviously, they bought their way into that, right? They bought their way into that Christmas thing. Did she buy her way into hosting NBC's Meet the Press? Looks that way to me. Now, she doesn't know this because she doesn't know any other way. You know, she's bought herself into everything, probably including that NBC White House correspondence gig that she has. So that's a pretty big deal to spend Christmas morning and Christmas Eve with a first family that has little kids, right? That's how big donors they are. That's how connected they are. That's the new non-biased, nonpartisan hostess of NBC's Meet the Press. It's disgusting is what it is, quite frankly. So we're going to take our first break of the day. We'll come back with your calls, and I'll get into the meat of both of these interviews, the Meet the Press interview with the greatest president ever, and Megyn Kelly's interview with the greatest president ever. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio, soon to be 47. Can you believe it? Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465 2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are calling us from, okay? And when we get back, I'll take the calls the best I can in the order in which they were received. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
Special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote.
Hey guys.
Call 800-894-9190 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs.
Who has ever been at your house Christmas morning with your kids?
Will also receive free roadside
right?
assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no
Exactly.
additional cost.
It's insanity.
Quick quote today. 800-894-9190. That's 800-894-9190. What do you have to lose? Call 800-894-9190.
Exactly.
Again, 800-894-9190.
Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours in one of those big labs. That's why I go to any lab test now.
Santa Claus. Yeah, Santa Claus and big rich donors that buy their way in. Like Kristen Welker and her family.
Are guaranteed to be the lowest on lab work you'll find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box, and they also send it to my doctor. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, between Palmetto Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard on the east side of State Road 7, 441. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Call Any Lab Test Now of Boca at 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. And don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 46 years on the air.
All right, indeed we are. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. A huge announcement from the Thomas Edison of sleep, Mike Lindell, the inventor of the MyPillow. The 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0 with cooling technology. This is amazing. Now, I have the MyPillow mattress topper 2.0. I got one for my daughter out in California as well. It makes a great gift. It will change your life. Okay, this is a major upgrade on the previous mattress topper. This one, the 2.0 mattress topper, has that cooling technology that perfectly regulates your body temperature. Regardless of the temperature in your room, in the house, outside, your body will be the perfect temperature all night long. It's amazing. It's got this new material that Mike Lindell has discovered. The MyPillow mattress topper 2.0 with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, is now 50% off. 50% off. I don't know how long this is going to last, but it is 50% off. You'll get yours for a better price than I got mine. Comes in every mattress size. It's a great gift for yourself, and it also makes a great gift for the Christmas season. And hey, this is the time to start your Christmas shopping. We've already started Christmas shopping. The MyPillow mattress topper 2.0 with temperature regulating technology, just like those new pillows, 50% off. But you've got to use our promo code KANE at checkout at mypillow.com, K-A-N-E. That's amazing. You can also order by phone, toll free, 1-800-716-4879. That's right, 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. All right, so I want to play one clip. This is from the Kristen Welker NBC Meet the Press interview, and she talks to Trump about pardoning himself. This is this is really an amazing comment from the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. This is from the Meet the Press interview. Kristen Welker, first interview, first show. She interviews President Trump and asks him about pardoning himself.
Mr. President, if you were reelected, would you pardon yourself?
I could have pardoned myself. Do you know what? I was given an option to pardon myself. I could have pardoned myself when I left. People said, would you like to pardon yourself? I had a couple of attorneys that said, you can do it if you want. I had some people that said it would look bad if you do, because I think it would look terrible. I said, here's the story. These people are thugs, horrible people, fascists, Marxists, sick people. They've been after me from the day I came down the escalator with Melania. And I did a great job as president. People are acknowledged. Great economy, great jobs, great this, great that. Rebuilt the military, Space Force, everything. I could go on forever. Let me just tell you. I said the last thing I'd ever do is give myself a pardon.
Wow. Okay. So this is huge. So he said he had people who told him he could, and he didn't. And why didn't he do it? Probably a couple reasons. One, he talked about. And that, of course, is it just would look bad and be a bad thing to do, worst thing he could do. But he also probably realized that they would go after him with these local corrupt prosecutors, all these Soros DAs around the country, like Bragg and Fannie Lewis in Fulton County. And by the way, that also, what he said, applies to a future self-pardon on the day that he's sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. He said, unlikely to pardon himself. That is absolutely amazing. All right, let's take some of these calls. 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. There's much more, including the Megyn Kelly interview, which I'm going to get to as well. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Chris from Kentucky.
Yes, Kentucky.
I got some information for you. You know, like yesterday when you talked about on your show that they were going to try to use COVID to...
Well, they're bringing it up. They want to bring it up as a topic of discussion because they think that's a weak point for him with MAGA voters.
And, well, I know Dave Rubin and Ben Shapiro were attacking him about it on Twitter.
Well, I know Dave Rubin. I didn't hear the other name. Who's the other person?
Ben Shapiro.
Oh, Ben Shapiro. Oh, okay. Well, I do know this about both of them. Ben Shapiro and Dave Rubin are never Trumpers. Dave Rubin, I'll go with him first. He's the lesser known of the two. Dave Rubin has he's a gay guy. He has a big thing for gay conservative. He has a big thing for Ron DeSantis, all right? He's been a DeSantis fanboy for a long time. In fact, I saw him once talking about how he was at the governor's mansion smoking cigars with the governor, okay? So in Tallahassee. So that tells you. Ben Shapiro has always been a never-Trumper. When President Trump was running the first time against Hillary Clinton, he wrote an op-ed column, Ben Shapiro, and the headline was, "Why I Will Never Vote for Donald Trump." And I know, can you imagine? Well, yeah. And also... Ben Shapiro, when that Stormy Daniels nonsense was going around, I heard him say, of course he had sex with Stormy Daniels. I mean, come on. So you've got two Trump haters, two never-Trumpers. One has the hots for Ron DeSantis, for sure. So shocker that they think it's a problem.
And I got some information on about Romney, too. I found out what happened to him. He's started backing Ron DeSantis now.
Yeah, well, I don't know if there's much to back because there's a new poll out that Ron DeSantis is like in 3rd or 4th place. I'm going to get to that later. He's falling down in the polls further.
Brian.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, you did that. All right, take care from Kentucky. First time we got a call from Kentucky that was like a real guy from Kentucky. Usually they're these trolls that, doing the fake Kentucky accents. Okay, now, the Megyn Kelly interview. You guys watch the Megyn Kelly interview? I watched the Megyn Kelly interview, and I'll tell you a couple things about it. One, as I predicted, it was boring and non-eventful. Okay? She's not that great. And you know how Megyn Kelly made it big? Do you know how she made it big? In a very similar way to Kamala Harris, Willie Brown's girlfriend, in a similar way. Now, I'm not saying, we know how Kamala got where she is. She started dating a married man, Willie Brown, who was one of the most powerful Democrats in America at that time. I used to talk about this when Megyn Kelly was on Fox, and people would give me a hard time. But if you don't remember what I'm about to describe, Go online and you will find what I'm telling you about. So how did Megyn Kelly get such high ratings on Fox News? Do you know how? When she first got on Fox News, she looked kind of frumpy. Looked kind of frumpy and out of date hairstyle. When she got her own show, both the afternoon show and the nighttime show, she did two things. One, she got a makeover. Now, that's no big thing. You know, a lot of women, sometimes men, get makeovers. But I used to talk about this all the time, and people would give me a hard time about it. Megyn Kelly had high ratings in the afternoon that landed her the primetime slot when Bill O'Reilly was forced out. Not because she had a great show, great commentary, and fascinating, interesting interviews. She had a transparent desk. She had a desk made of transparent plexiglass, and it was always perfectly clean and spotless, and she wore skirts all the time. And she was teasing viewers through her entire time on Fox News with a Sharon Stone basic instinct view, if you get my drift. Now, she wasn't doing it. She didn't go as far as Sharon Stone and Basic Instinct, but she was always teasing it with the transparent desk and the skirts. And she had a transparent desk that was raised, and she would sit in a stool. And her ratings were so high at Fox because guys were watching, trying to get the Sharon Stone Basic Instinct view, which never happened. She did not have high ratings because of her talent, ability, skills, or anything else, okay? That is, and if you don't believe me on that, go look her up from some videos and things when she was on her Fox News shows, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, okay? And that's what I mean by she had a similar path to success as Kamala Harris. She was just doing it with a tease. All right. So a guy called me yesterday and said, have you seen the interview? I said, well, it hasn't aired yet. I saw a clip, but I'll give you my prediction that the interview will be boring. And guess what? It was terminally boring, not because of President Trump, but because of her. But Megyn Kelly did something else during that interview, which I'm not even 100% sure she's aware of it because she's so self-absorbed. But after our bottom of the hour break, I'm going to tell you the stunt that Megyn Kelly pulled on her interview with President Trump yesterday. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian Craig. We'll be back right after this. Oh, or we won't. Okay, hold on. I'll do it. That's okay.
He got the betrayal.
I didn't see it coming. Life can be so unpredictable.
Hold on, guys. I'll be right back.
After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. The mortgage.
Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't see that you weren't back there. I wouldn't have. A couple things. William Ergman's not calling in today. Okay, so just play that thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when I played this, the spots kept playing automatically to the next break. So I don't know how to get it out of that mode, or maybe you did. Maybe it's just something you do every day that takes it out of that mode.
No,
But it went from the top of the hour and then played the next set, and I never seen it do that before. And it did it again, and after that it went directly to the bottom of the hour. Now maybe it fired off at the scheduled time, but they fired off on their own.
so this is the first.
Yeah, I didn't fire them up and they played on their own. That's why it's paused there.
Ah. No.
I don't know if it, I wasn't watching, so I don't know if it went from break to break or if it fired at the time on the log.
So weird.
Well, let's see if it does it this time.
Well, we're already at the end of the hour.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so weird.
So we've missed some.
Yeah.
This is the top of the hour break?
This is the last hour break, like the final break. We're about to get back. Oh, let me see.
Okay.
I'll see.
All right, not a problem. Do you guys know what I'm talking about with the transparent desk? All right, welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Now, Medicare open enrollment period is a month away, and that's the one time of year that if you are a Medicare recipient that you can make changes to your policy. You want to call Debbie at I Will Advisors, okay? No matter where you are in the state of Florida, Debbie from I Will Advisors can help you. She's been with us for many years, and before her, we've been with her family, Debbie Klatzoff. We've been with the Klatzoff family here on the Steve Kane Show since like '94. They've been with us here on the Steve Kane Show. And, of course, Adam Klatzoff passed away some time ago, and then Debbie, his daughter-in-law, took over the family business. She handles Steve's Medicare each and every year. She'll review your policy. No matter where you are in the state of Florida, she can help you. She'll review your policy, make sure your doctors are covered, your primary doctors, your specialist, your prescriptions, your local pharmacy. Steve had an issue with his 1 year. He had a prescription. It was over $2,000 a month, and when he went to the pharmacy, it wasn't covered. He called Debbie. She took care of it. Now it is. Now, the Medicare open enrollment period doesn't start for a month, and they can't look into your policy and make changes until then. But what you can do is you can call I Will Advisors now and make an appointment for open enrollment. When open enrollment happens, insurance agents get real busy. But if you call now and make an appointment, you'll be locked in and you'll have no worries, okay? The number for I Will Advisors is 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. That's 954-753-8080. If you call now and it's early, leave a message. They will call you back. Okay, so I'm going through these interviews of President Trump, the Meet the Press interview and the Megyn Kelly interview, and I was explaining her secrets to ratings. You think that would help me if I had a transparent desk and wore miniskirts and was teasing men? Do you think I'd have high ratings too? But you know, someone like Megyn Kelly is not self-aware enough to know that she was selling her body for ratings, and that's why she got popular, not because of her skill set. But the interview that she did with President Trump, I watched it, and it was terminally boring, not because of President Trump, but because of her. And this is something, I'm not sure how self-aware Megyn Kelly is, okay? She is very self-absorbed, as many people are that are in television and stuff like this. So I don't know, and she's famous and everything, so I don't know if she's aware of what she did or not, but I think she probably is, but it's hard to say for sure. That was an infomercial for Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis' campaign is tanking. It's all but over. I've got this new poll that I'll get to in just a bit. But she was talking to President Trump about things that were old news. She spent a lot of time talking about Fauci. That was a big thing. By the way, Ron DeSantis is now in 4th place in South Carolina. He has dropped. Ron DeSantis has now dropped to 4th place in South Carolina. Wow, that's huge. And, you know, the thing with what I mean by this, that it was an infomercial for Ron DeSantis. I remember yesterday, this is so interesting, I got a call out of the blue from a lady. Of course, she voted for Trump twice and all this stuff, but he broke her heart because of Operation Warp Speed. And remember she was talking about all that stuff yesterday? And I told you guys yesterday, you know, the Uniparty do nothing but run schemes to try to defeat Donald Trump, right? And they've determined that when it comes to his COVID response and Fauci, that's his weak spot, and they want to try to get the dialogue about President Trump on that. I think he did a great job. He kept the world economy together during a time when the entire planet was shut down. I think he did an amazing job. But I got that seminar caller yesterday, if you noticed, right? It was just weird and out of the blue. She was a fake caller. She didn't know who I was. She didn't know the show. She didn't know who she was calling. Somebody gave her a phone number and said call, you know, and they which really is an honor because it shows the importance that this show brings when the seminar callers are targeting you like that, okay? That was a caller sent by the Uniparty. Used to be the DNC, now it's the Uniparty. So she spent a huge chunk on that interview about Fauci and his COVID response to try to give DeSantis something to go with, because DeSantis has been attacking him on that in his desperate attempt to save his sinking campaign, which is now in 4th place in South Carolina. And Megyn Kelly did something very inappropriate a few months back. Remember she interviewed Ron DeSantis? Do you remember this? Megyn Kelly interviewed Ron DeSantis a couple of months back, and she did something the night before the interview that I think is highly inappropriate. And this is what it is. She went out to dinner with DeSantis and his wife with her husband. So they had a couples date. They went out on a couples date. Megyn Kelly and her writer husband, and Ron DeSantis and Walmart Melania. And you don't socialize with people like that before you do interviews the night before. And in the preview to the interview, she says, well, I went out to dinner with them last night, and you can tell they're a couple really in love, and it's not wooden like these other politics and all this stuff. So she's got a bond. Megyn Kelly has like Dave Rubin, has a bond with Ron DeSantis. She does not like Trump at all. She pretends to like Trump because, one, she wanted the interview, and she understands that her audience is a conservative audience, and conservatives who abandon Trump fade away from relevancy because conservatives love Trump. So she pretends to like Trump, okay? And she wanted that interview. And she wants an audience. But that interview that she did, consciously or subconsciously, Megyn Kelly spent so much time talking about Fauci and COVID, which I think has zero relevance today. I don't like to talk about anything COVID related. I never have, even during the period. Okay, I talked about that quite a bit at the time, but I think that was a total setup for the DeSantis campaign. Now, I don't know if there was. I'm not saying that there's open collusion between her and the DeSantis camp, but sometimes you don't have to collude. You just know what to do. And sure enough, DeSantis does an interview yesterday when he is attacking he was asked to respond to Megyn Kelly's questions about Fauci to President Trump, and he slammed Trump and gave him something to go with yesterday. So the Megyn Kelly interview, I think it was a typical interview for her. So you guys let me know. I know a lot of you saw that. Our number, toll free, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. So Ron DeSantis, listen to this. Ron DeSantis has dropped to 4th place in a new South Carolina poll as his campaign prepares to make a big splash for evangelical voters. The Florida governor trailed Donald Trump and home state favorites Nikki Haley and Tim Scott. It's a shocking drop for DeSantis, who's been running second behind President Trump. The new Monmouth University Washington Post poll found Donald Trump with a 2-to-1 lead. 46% of Republican primary voters would vote for President Trump. Number 2 was Nikki Haley, who was twice elected governor, although she didn't finish her second term. She is 28 points behind at 18. So think about this. Nikki Haley was the governor of that state. Donald Trump's at 46. She's 18. Tim Scott, the senator, he's only at 10%, and Trump is at 46. DeSantis is in single digits now at 9. That's huge. That's huge. It's just over for the rest of them. Nikki Haley's support in her home state is triple what it is in national polls, even though she's so far behind Trump, she's not even a competitor. South Carolina holds the 3rd primary on the road to the Republican presidential nomination. It's February 24th next year. You know, the South Carolina primary is a big one, okay? When that one comes down, that is always a big one. But, yeah, come on. You know, in these polls in the home, still we have not seen an up-to-date Florida poll. I haven't seen an up-to-date Florida poll in a couple of months. And in the last poll I saw, President Trump was like 32 points ahead of DeSantis in Florida. I'd like to see that now. Look at what he's doing against the South Carolinians that are running. I mean, this is amazing. And while South Carolina is not first, when the South Carolina primary happens, that's like a really big deal. It gets so much coverage and everything else. It's almost treated like a general election event when South Carolina's primaries come around. All right, let's take some of these calls. Our number toll free 1-888-GO-CANE-1. A lot happened yesterday, didn't it? Oh yeah. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Barbara from Hawaii.
Hey, Barbara in Hawaii. How you doing?
Just fine, thank you. Well, I saw the interview, and I just thought it was just all old stuff.
Oh, you talking about Megyn Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it was a lot about the last time she interviewed. See, she has this whole identity that she stood up to Trump in that debate, and all this stuff, and she's a big man hater. I mean, because of her, she brought down Roger Ailes, she brought down Bill O'Reilly, and she thinks she can bring down Trump. She's and her husband's a writer. Her husband's a writer, so he lives off her. I know he sells books and all because he's married to a famous woman, but she doesn't like strong men. She likes wimpy men. She's the husband in her marriage.
Yeah, well, that tells you why she always cut into his speech. When Tucker was interviewing him, he let him speak, and she was constantly cutting in, and I didn't like that.
No, and you made a good point about talking about things that were old and in the past, and it was very irrelevant. It was an interview from like 3-4 years ago, maybe even 7.
Yeah, who cares about COVID this day? COVID is over.
Exactly. Hey, Barbara, I'm glad you're doing well. James O'Keefe is coming out with a huge expose on the Democrats' lack of response to the Maui fires. I've seen some pieces from it. It's going to be fascinating, so keep an eye on that. Since you're in Hawaii, I think that'd be of some interest to you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I have one more thing to say about the cocaine. I know it's an old case too, but you know what? Everybody who worked on that case and they couldn't find anything, everybody needs to be fired.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
And
the most secure room in the world, and they can't figure out whose cocaine. They know whose cocaine it was. There's a cover-up going on about the White House cocaine.
But people need to be held responsible, and like I said, everybody who worked on that and couldn't find anything needs to be fired.
Exactly. All right, hey, Barbara, take care. Thanks for the call. She brought up a good point about Megyn Kelly's interview with President Trump. It was all old stuff from years ago, and it's because that was her last interaction with him personally, and her whole identity is based around that Fox News debate where she had the run-in with President Trump where he cleaned her clock. You've called women, and he's only Rosie O'Donnell. Boy, he came up with a good line on that one, didn't he? And her whole identity is about that. In fact, after the interview, when she was giving her analysis of herself, all she did was talk about that debate, really, from Fox News those many years ago when he ran against Hillary. So I'm just not but this thing about the past, I had an idea once that I thought was a great idea, and it was the worst idea I ever had. Many, many years ago, Steve was going on vacation, and I wanted some time off too, and so I didn't fill in. And I said, Steve, I got an idea. Why don't we let fill in some of these old radio people that have not been on the air in a while? And we did. It was the worst. Some of these people had not been on the air for 10 or more years, and what they talked about was stuff they talked about like their last week on the air 10 years ago, like there had been no 10 years. It was like 10 years was yesterday to them. And we never did that again. And that's how Megyn Kelly was. She was right back at that Fox News debate years ago with President Trump, and that's what it was all about. That and COVID. All right, we're going to take our last break of the first hour and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Palm Beach County's only
I've manually grabbed the commercial because I can't go back, so I have them just moving everything down.
Okay, so what happened?
I don't know.
Is it
Called
fixed?
Mike, and Mike says he doesn't know what's going on either. Like, he says that's so weird because the stop signs are there. They're supposed to be stopped.
There's some setting.
Well, that's what I was thinking that too, but we don't. Mike said you'll have to look into it and try to figure it out. There's a lot of commercials that I could, because like they didn't get to play on air, and I'm sure that people are probably getting mad that, hey, I didn't hear my commercial. Do you want me to play all those commercials that were missed, or just like yours?
Well, if you did it now, it'd be like a 15-minute break.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This is the last break.
Just sprinkle like one in here and there, I guess.
Okay, so
yeah.
let me get a few.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just trying to, yeah.
Laws are in effect that allow Tom to negotiate directly with your insurance company on the cost of all repairs, so you don't necessarily need to employ a public adjuster or a lawyer.
Okay, hold on, let me get queued up here.
Residential roofing and repair, commercial roofs, schools, municipal buildings.
Okay, hold on. What's the order here?
If it's roofing, Tom Laporta can do it. Call Tom.
The other part.
604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com.
Hold on. Okay. I got this thing on Joe Biden that Joe Biden pulled. Now, I want to tell you guys, we got a new sponsor joining us, and I pinned the link in the chat if you're watching live. And if you're not watching live, the link is in the episode description, okay? And you click that link, you can get this free book from Joe Thomas, Retirement Know-It-All. The rich get richer because they know things other people don't. And those for those, so just, well, I'll tell you about it more later. But click that link and get your free book. All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Call us on hold. Stand by. Our number, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. Do you or someone you know have neuropathy? Oh, man. Neuropathy makes life unbearable. It makes it so painful, so difficult. You know, the symptoms of neuropathy, which include, I've got a list here. There's so many, and all of them are awful. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in the hands and feet, muscle weakness, dizziness, loss of balance, muscle twitching, the feeling of pins and needles in the hands and feet. Maybe you have no feeling at all. You know, Steve's had all these neuropathy symptoms, and we went on a mission to find help. And his doctors, his neurologist said there's no treatment for neuropathy. You just got to learn to live with the pain, the discomfort, and the disability. And we didn't take that for an answer, and I helped Steve, and we found Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. They have a treatment for neuropathy that works. Okay? Now, they can help you no matter where you are. If you're in town and you can't make it into their office, or you're out of town or out of state, they can still help you. Okay, here's their number, 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. All right, now it is open phones on Friday, open Manga Mike Friday. Any and everything you have on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. You are not limited to the topics that we bring up. Although I'd like to hear your comments on what I brought up in the first hour here, because I thought I brought some pretty good things up with some interesting analysis on yesterday's events with our great President Donald Trump. Our number, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. 2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Bill, Louisiana.
All right, Bill in Louisiana, what's on your mind?
Oh, well, I've got a problem with all these people that are charged and released, and then for violent crimes, and then they don't release the ones that, like the one that hit Pelosi. What's the deal? You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't. I'm confused. You got to be a little more specific.
You know, when they got the hammer on the head.
Oh my goodness! No, I have no idea what that guy's talking about. Oh my goodness! Is this going to be? Are we going to be troll seminar caller central now? I guess the powers that be are learning about the show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Barbara Baltimore.
Hey, Barbara.
It's just good show. So this morning, I just wanted to say something about Megyn Kelly. And I didn't see the interview with Donald Trump, but from what I'm hearing, nothing is surprising because I never liked her. I never trusted her from the time that she interviewed him, and it was always like sabotage, or she's like gotcha is what she does. I just don't like her. But one other thing that is really no one talks about when they talk about President Trump and Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci was considered the, quote, expert on everything. Trump being a businessman, he came into office depending on the expertise of the people that were there, especially in a position like Dr. Fauci's. Now, because he trusted him to some extent, but he also, Donald Trump brought in Dr. Scott Atlas. Nobody ever talks about Scott Atlas.
That's right.
Scott Atlas, that's right. Scott Atlas, he is the smart guy. He was and still.
And also, by the way, you're right about that. I forgot about Dr. Atlas. And so far as Fauci, no one. I know there's all these Monday morning quarterbacks. Okay, today, no one knew that Fauci had this Napoleon complex until time went on, and his ego got out of control, and then he thought he was the king of the world. People didn't realize that, in President Trump, and no one in this audience or this country realized it either in the beginning. And as it became known what he was like, President Trump phased him out more and more as time went on. Yeah.
You know what? What happened during that time? The media and the Democrats and all the Fauci fans and the fans of that freaking vaccine and overshadowed everything Dr. Atlas was talking about. Remember when hydroxychloroquine? Yeah. Yeah.
But see, Barbara, this is what. But let me just tell you, okay? This is what they want you to do. They want us to talk about COVID and everything about COVID as opposed to all these other things. So to talk about it, it really, in my opinion, now maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's falling into their trap. What they're trying to do is redirect the narrative into what they view is, because listen, when President Trump did his tour with Bill O'Reilly, at the first event, he mentioned the vaccines, and he actually got booed. Do you remember that? And he doesn't talk about them anymore. Even the only time he talks about them is when he's asked, okay? So they've identified this as his kryptonite, and they want us to talk about that because there are some MAGA conservatives who their whole life is about that, and that turns them away from Trump. So that's why they want us talking about that. And that's one of the reasons I don't.
Well, I'm not buying it at all, and I remember what was going on during that time. They made a mockery of Donald Trump's recommendation for hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah.
Number of people who could have been saved had they gotten hydroxychloroquine.
What am I? Yeah. Well, now the FDA's approved that now. They approved that a few weeks back. Yeah, but Barbara, this shows you, these schemers against President Trump. Okay, nothing they've done's worked, but you called me about it today, and you're not the first. So and there's a lot of people talking about it. So don't you understand? There are some things that, like, for example, you've heard, I'm a big Star Trek fan. If I mention something about Star Trek, next thing I know, I'm talked about it for 30 minutes on the show, and I didn't even realize it. It went by like that because I'm such a big fan of Star Trek. And when it comes to this COVID stuff, like you're talking about, there's a lot of MAGA people that it's a big thing. And they'll talk. It's a trap. Don't fall for the trap. It's a trap. And okay. Well, hey, listen, Barbara. That's fine. It's open phones.
Hi, people.
Back. See, you're back. See, you're back on it again. See, this is what Megyn. I got that seminar caller yesterday. Megyn Kelly got it going with the Trump interview. Ben Shapiro and Dave Rubin, they're all into it now. And even though I've pointed this out to you a few times, even you keep going back to. See what I mean? We cannot let them turn this race into COVID and Operation Warp Speed and Fauci and what people's opinions were on Trump's response. I think Trump did a miraculous job. He held the world together. If anybody else was president, if anyone else was president, the world economy would have collapsed and we would be in a Great Depression.
He saved us all. That's it.
That's right. He saved the world. All right, Barbara, take care. Take care. I don't know. Do you guys understand what I mean by what I'm saying, what they're trying to do? See, one of President Trump's greatest skill sets is he's the first Republican who controls the narrative. And he's brilliant at it. And when he came down before he came down the escalator, I realized, the first time I really heard Donald Trump get into anything that involved like politics really is years before he ran, years before he came down the escalator, and he got Obama to produce the birth certificate. Remember that? Or a document that Obama said was his birth certificate. And I was like, wow, he's got the whole narrative going on the birth certificate. It's amazing. But this Fauci and COVID response, these are the never-Trumpers in the Uniparty attempting to hijack the narrative. And so many good MAGA conservatives. Barbara from Baltimore is one of our best callers. I think she's spectacular. I love Barbara in Baltimore. There's not been a single call until today that I take issue with anything that she says. But they know that when you get into those topics, millions of MAGA people around this country, boom, they're all over it. It's because I understand, but don't fall for it. Don't let them set the narrative. When they set the narrative, you're responding to them. When you set the narrative, they're responding to you. That's the higher ground. That's how you win, when you were setting the narrative and they're responding to the narrative you set. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, Vincent Wellington. How's it going?
Hey, Wellington. What's up?
Yeah, I think it's crazy that they're trying to talk about all of this crap with Megyn Kelly and everything else when we have Hunter Biden getting ready to get indicted completely today or tomorrow or the next day or whatever they said. But, I mean, that's what this real cover-up is about. That's why they're trying to gin up narrative on all of this stuff with COVID and all of speed. And, I mean, I like how they never go and question that jerk-off.
Don't kid you. You got to watch your language a little bit. That's not one of the 7 words, but it's not a kind word for the radio. All right.
I meant to say Mike Pence.
Yeah. Judas Pence, yes.
Yeah, but, I mean, jerk off came out. I'm sorry.
No, I just said don't say it, and you said it again. I mean, my goodness. I mean, no, just sorry. I mean, oh, my goodness. All right. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, good morning, Brian. How you doing?
All right. How are you?
This is Terry from Florida. Hey, you know what? You asked me a question a while back.
No, excuse me. I asked you a question. I didn't ask you. Asked.
The question.
There's an S.
Why did I not like Donald Trump, right?
Oh, okay.
Similar to that. All right. Now, for one thing, he's one of the 4 horsemen. The first thing is he comes and he knows everything. He has the solution. He can fix any problem.
Yes, he can.
He has that type of, that's the way the Antichrist is.
Oh.
Problem he can't solve. He can solve any problem. But the thing is, he's a deceiver. Okay? Now he comes saying that, okay, I'm the solution to every problem. And this is the Antichrist. And then once he gets there, once he get into office, which is the White House, then he brings trouble. He brings destruction on the nation. See, he come as a deceiver. You know what I mean?
So if he's the Antichrist, how come he's not still in power?
Because the thing is, he got kicked out of power.
But if he were the Antichrist, how could they so easily kick him out of power?
He's trying to get back. That's why
Yeah, but the Antichrist is in power and doesn't get kicked out.
Yeah, that's because it was the second term.
Oh my goodness.
And once he get into office, then it's going to be hard to keep.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, and he's all-knowing. All right, listen, we'll take our break for the top of the hour, and it is open phones today, as you can see. We'll be right back.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me just finish up. There's a link pinned to the chat. Hold on. You got it fixed? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So there's a link in the chat. You can get your free book. This is a new sponsor. Joe Thomas is the author of this book, and you can get this book for free at jupiterjoe.com. If you're retired, or you're going to be retiring at some point in your life, this is the book for you. He's a retirement expert, and just click that link. It's pinned in the chat, and get your free book. All right? I'd appreciate that. Thanks so much. There's also a link in the description. The website is jupiterjoe.com. jupiterjoe.com, all right? We're all going to retire at some point, right? Exactly. No, he's called before, and it's the same call every time. He's called a whole bunch of times. It's always the Four Horsemen, the Antichrist. Yeah, the guy's crazy. He's completely insane, that caller. Hopefully, the next callers will be... Well, this is Friday. It's open phones. See, this is why we don't do open phones every day. Between screenless and open phones, you never know what's going to come in on Friday's phones. Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Well, welcome, Canada. I've tried talking to him before. He's too crazy to talk to. I'm glad he called when he did, because I had the break. He called right before the break. Oh yeah, I don't mind crazy callers, but some callers, they're so crazy. Their focus is too narrow. Mm-hmm. Have you guys clicked the link to get your free retirement know-it-all book from Joe Thomas? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, guy's a complete loon. I think my analysis of the Megyn Kelly interview is 100% accurate. You guys remember the transparent desk with her Sharon Stone Basic Instinct tease that she was doing? That's the only reason. Hey, it's made her a millionaire. Hopefully these other callers on hold are better. It's so weird because, I take the call screenless and I'll lose track of the order that the calls come in. So it's kind of like a roulette wheel. I'm taking them at random. you know.
Just outside Detroit, walking the picket line this morning. Here's a Ford worker.
We make this company billions of dollars on our backs. You know what I'm saying? My parents retired from here. You know,
Yeah.
give us what we deserve. That's all we're asking for. Nothing more.
I don't think she's that good looking. She's good looking from certain angles, but you get off the angle and it's a whole nother person. It's very weird. If you're looking straight on, she's good looking, but you get on the side a little bit in the profile, not so much.
Hey y'all, my name is Tiara, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A spicy chicken biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A spicy chicken biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's.
What do I have no knowledge of about Megyn Kelly that I've shared on the air?
Spicy chicken biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests pay for their testimonials.
Join us for Moments of Scripture, hosted by Jan Coleman every Sunday morning from 6 to 6:30 a.m. We will read the Bible.
Well, you got to start planning now and get the book.
Listen in the name of our Lord and Savior. Moments of Scripture every Sunday at 6 a.m.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back, one and all callers on hold. Stand by. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. I was talking about these incredible stories yesterday. I haven't even gotten to all of them, but we were talking about the very terminally boring interview that Megyn Kelly. It's, you know how difficult it is to make an interview with Donald Trump boring? Megyn Kelly did it. As she was doing an infomercial to try to salvage Ron DeSantis' campaign. Ron DeSantis now in 4th place in the latest poll out of South Carolina, 9 points, 9%. He's in the single digits now. Single digit Ron. And, of course, the Meet the Press interview was talking about that as well with President Trump. Let's go back to our phones. 1-888-GO-KANE. 1, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie.
Oh, hey, Richie.
Oh, here. Good morning. Here's where we're going to clash. I'm not crazy over Megyn Kelly. I think her voice for podcast or radio is super excellent.
Yes, she's got a good voice.
Excellent voice. I haven't heard of any. You know, that's a big thing. You have a great voice for the radio. There are people like you mentioned. Got his name now. The little guy that speaks like an airplane, like.
Oh, you mean the Ben Shapiro? Ben Shapiro, to me, he talks like an auctioneer.
Gun.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. Okay, the best defender of president. To me, it makes you look small. I understand you analyzing the interview. She's very successful. She's top shelf interviewer. She's getting interviews with President Trump. The best defender of President Trump is President Trump. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, he makes all of them look silly. And the ones that I can't stand are the ones that basically knock him all the time and never have him on the show. They're afraid to interview him when they can't get the interview. Those are the creeps. But the ones that actually face him up, I think you're analyzing what was right. I mean, it was boring, but she at least tried. And the fact is she is successful. And you were right about that desk. I mean, but it makes to me.
Okay. What? Megyn Kelly, listen, okay, I'll tell you a couple things about Megyn Kelly has a great voice. She has a great voice. And she's pretty, but if you see her from certain angles, you know, if you see her head on, she's beautiful, but you get on an angle and things and her face changes. Jenna Ellis is the same thing. I think Jenna Ellis is good looking from the front, but you get to the side and it's like another person. But here's the thing with Megyn Kelly I was talking about in the first hour. I'll tell it over again because I think it's an important point. There are people that are tops in their field because they're great at what they do, like the great Tucker Carlson. Megyn Kelly is not at the top of the game because of her talent. And I don't mean her voice. She has a perfect voice for broadcasting, okay? But her interviews and her commentary are not why she got popular. When she was at Fox, she started in the afternoons, then she took over for O'Reilly. She had a clear plexiglass transparent desk. She sat elevated in a stool, and she teased guys like you with a Sharon Stone Basic Instinct tease. Like you might catch a shot of her, of her business. And she did that in the afternoons, took it to the night, and a large part of her rating success, hey, listen, it's made her a millionaire, but she got the high ratings at Fox for two reasons. One, Fox was highly rated at the time, and anybody would have good ratings. But what made her extra special in the ratings was teasing men like you and others with the Sharon Stone Basic Instinct tease. And right? Do you guys agree with the transparent desk? Isn't that what she did? Come on.
I agree with what you're saying, but when you say guys like me, I actually didn't give a damn whether she was sitting with a I looked at a person in the face.
Yeah.
To you, I look at you.
Yeah, but I'm a man. And
I'm not looking for that. I'm looking at.
You mean to tell me that you never, I didn't ask if you cared. Did you never looked at her legs or thought you might get there you go.
When you brought it up on the radio.
Richie, it's subliminal. Nobody else has ever pointed this out but me. Every time I brought it up, I get calls from men like you, or Steve will give me a hard time that I used to, when she was on the air, I used to talk about this on Fox.
You did. I used to listen, and you brought it to my attention. I actually.
So she's kind of like she's kind of like an OnlyFans news person.
No, but let me ask you a question. It seems to me that you do go like lower income. You go after successful women on the radio and if they say anything against President Trump, you go ballistic. But the fact is that when President Trump gets interviewed by these people, he puts them to shame because he can defend himself he's the best defender of President Trump.
Yes.
150% right. I'm only saying it. To me, it makes you look a little small when you knock them all the time.
Listen. I don't like anyone who doesn't like Trump. Okay, if you're critical of Trump, okay, I don't want anything to do with you. Okay.
Same thing.
And I don't like these broadcasters that are trashing Trump. And furthermore, I went on to say that I felt like she was out there to help Ron DeSantis, and that's why she brought up all that old stuff about Fauci, was to try to give relevancy to Ron DeSantis, who she's friends with.
Okay, it's funny. Let me throw something in really quick. I think it was 13 or 15 attorney generals of blue states are trying to block President Trump from running.
Yep.
Now, Sekulow has an interview. Sekulow is the lawyer. He's working for Trump now. But he's got a thing where he's on his podcast. I don't know if you ever watched the Sekulow.
Jay Sekulow. I know Jay Sekulow.
He's representing. He's going to go all the way to the Supreme Court, but he needs help. And he says for every dollar somebody gives him, he'll match it. So the people out there want to help President Trump, help Sekulow, because he's trying to put an end to this crap before it goes too far.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I would say open phones does not mean do commercials for people, but that's okay. I like Jay Sekulow. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Oh, no, I certainly think if Megyn Kelly wasn't hot, she would not have been half as successful as she is. She always thinks she has to come up with some kind of.
Well, hold on a second. You to be on television, you have to look good to be successful for the most part. But I remember her when she was just a pundit, and she was very frumpy and out of date hairstyle and everything. She got a makeover and she looked beautiful. But I still think the key to her success was that transparent desk and the skirts with the raised chair.
That certainly helped her, man. I guarantee you that, because I thought, whoa, look at her. She's nice to look at, no doubt about it. She's a good commentator most of the time, but she has this thing that she has to be a tough guy and come up with questions that she asked Trump these ridiculous questions from 1,000 years ago, out of date kind of stuff. But that's her thing. You just mentioned also Ben Shapiro. Did you see Ben Shapiro? He had Jenner on, and he was saying some things that Jenner didn't like, and Jenner, if you don't cut it out, you're going to go to the hospital. Jenner is
You're talking about Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner?
Yeah, Bruce Caitlyn Jenner.
Let me tell you about Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, whatever. We had Bruce Jenner on the show during the OJ trial. You know, he knew OJ, Ron and Nicole. It was the great. There's no tape of this, to my knowledge, that exists. It happened spontaneously and unexpected. But he is a massive man. He has the biggest feet outside of the NBA. He's a big guy. And I wouldn't mess with him. All right, hey, Doug, take care. Thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our first break of the second hour now. I brought up a lot of great things today, I think. These interviews are fantastic and that I've talked about. But Friday is open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mic Friday. Any and everything on your mind is fair game. Try to keep it interesting. I would like you to comment on the topics I brought up, but you're not limited to those, all right? On Friday's show only. Open MAGA Mic Friday. Callers on hold, stand by if you'd like to get on hold where Doug was at. 1-888-GO-CANE1, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-CANE1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
If you're a homeowner, business owner, or with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. Tom Laporta will give you a free evaluation. Laporta Contracting was voted one of the best general contractor and best roofers in South Florida. He's honest, knowledgeable, and reliable. So your roof you don't need. If you have an insurance claim, call your insurance company.
I just ask you guys, just give me a yes or no. Am I correct about Megyn Kelly with the transparent desk and the crotch shot tees? Yes or no on that? I'm curious if you guys agree with me on that or not. A lot of yeses.
Tom Laporta can do it. Call Tom Laporta right now. 954-604-46.
Exactly.
954-604-46.
Now, it was probably quite subliminal until I pointed that out to most people. All right. Yeah. I saw one no, two no's, but everybody else yeses. So the yeses seem to have it. Mm-hmm.
Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Margate on both new and used tires. New tires as low as
But she does have a great voice, I will say. She's got a perfect voice.
Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30.
Oh, the peas and the spaghetti. Yeah, that was, who's that old guy that calls in? He had the liberal home health aide. I forgot his name now. He called in the other day.
Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, welcome back, one and all. It is Friday. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve joining us. And if you're on hold, stand by. Very, very busy phones. Only one opening on the board. You with us, Steve? No, you're with us. You're with us. Now, before we get started, now that we've got Steve here, I want to talk about Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental, who has been with us for many, many years. And, you know, Richie, the bus driver, drives over 140 miles to see Dr. Gupta. And there's dentists around where he lives, but he drives over 140 miles to see Dr. Gupta for a couple of reasons. And one of them is that Dr. Gupta is a top dentist, a top, and he does every type of dental work there is. Any type of dental work, from when kids first go to the dentist, your entire life, and in Richie's case, Richie recently, Steve, got dentures. So he takes you through your entire, the entire life of your mouth, from the first time you have teeth until they all are out and you got the dentures. He does everything, and he does a great job. And the other thing about Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental, this is the longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, and Dr. Gupta's prices are from another time. They're so affordable. He is so affordable. It's amazing how affordable Dr. Gupta is. So listen, give Dr. Gupta a call. Make sure you tell him you heard about him on the radio, because he's a longtime listener of the Steve Kane Show. He's been listening to the Steve Kane Show since the 80s. So you'll have that bond and connection with him. He'll be like a member of your family, and he'll know all the callers and everything else that call in all the time and all of that, so you'll have that bond. His number, 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. All right, so you want to go to the phones? You got something? What do you want to do?
Well, the big news, and yesterday, wouldn't you say yesterday was yet another major turning point in this incredible case?
Which case and which turning point? I mean, there's so many news stories on different fronts.
It's a fair question. That's a fair question. I'll tell you exactly what case. In the end, in my theory, everybody, that's what makes this case interesting. Everybody's got their own theory on this. I've said from the beginning, this thing will be decided not by primaries and not by the conventions and all this BS that's going around. This particular thing is going to be solved by the Supreme Court, and we've been saying that for a long time now. Every once in a while we lose sight of it. And I would like to think that the whole court would just be unanimous. This case against Trump is a non-case.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And there's nowhere and no way that you see it more clearly than when you see it, the treatment against Trump and the case against Trump as compared to the case against Donald. And it's driving it home, because in the end, the Supreme Court, I mean, I'd like to think they could do it on their own, but in the end, I think intimidation is a factor here. I don't think these guys want to get up there, and if they can see that the horrible way that Donald was treated and the miscarriage of justice, I think all the judges will be hesitant to, when push comes to shove, vote against this Supreme Court.
Yeah, well, what was the turning point in that yesterday? Something happened?
Well, yeah, we finally got a look at the case against Hunter and the incredible inequities of the way that took it.
Well, the case with Hunter, and by the way, I believe President Trump agrees with me on this, because I saw Dick Morris talking about this on Newsmax yesterday. The Hunter, these Hunter charges, okay? The one crime that Hunter committed that his dad is not involved in is what they've charged him with, and it's it's a cover up, but it shows you what kind of dad Joe Biden is. That he's willing to sacrifice his son for his own personal. He's a terrible father.
I say that's true, but I think more important than that, what it really shows is how rigged the system is. That they turned into pretzels to make this thing.
Yeah.
So the only one affected in this particular case was.
Well, Hunter. It was to distract from Joe and try to give credibility into these fake charges against Trump in these 4 cases too. But Joe and Joe Biden are some of the scum, not the scummiest, but they're really up there. They're some of the scummiest parents I've ever heard of. I mean, listen, I've had people in my family that have substance abuse problems. Most people have. okay? And I've known people in hey, we work in radio, right? You know, and I remember when I was younger, you know, and started in radio in the early 90s, and you, Steve, way back when, half the people in radio were addicts, okay, back in those days. I mean, that's the way it was. But the worst thing you can do to an addict is give them money. 10 cents, they'll find drugs, okay? And the Bidens give millions to their addict son. Both their kids are junkies that are in and out of rehab. Now he's allowing his son to face federal charges to protect himself. I mean, these are just terrible people, terrible parents. I know most parents would go to jail for their kids to save their kids. You know, this guy is sacrificing his son through his entire... I feel bad for Hunter. He is an abused child, completely abused. Do you know when... Yeah, you know when that car... He was in the car. You know, Jill is his stepmother. Okay, Hunter's mother is the one is Joe's first wife that died in the car crash. Okay, and Hunter and Bo were in the hospital recovering, and the mother died. Joe got sworn in into the Senate. He won his first election from the hospital room with Hunter and Bo in there recovering, and then he left them in the hospital and went to Washington. Left his kids who just lost their mother and were recovering in the hospital from a car accident. He left them. He used them for a photo op for the swearing in, and then went to Washington and left them with God knows who. I don't know. I mean, he's a really bad person. I mean, he's the sleaziest person to ever be president, Joe Biden, in my opinion. We agree with that? I don't know. Now, listen, we've got almost a full board of calls, and let's take one, Steve, before the break, okay? Because some of these people have been holding on for quite some time. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
PJ from Broward.
Hey, PJ.
Hey, PJ.
Hey, a big win for Trump yesterday in Fulton County. I'm sure you're aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
They said that there's no, Fannie Willis wanted this big show trial of all of them to start next month. Not going to happen. The judge ruled that a couple of the people can have separated out a couple of people. And also, another thing that's really interesting, the judge said, "Hey, I have to wait to find out what the appeals are as far as how like Mark Meadows appealed to go to federal trial.
Yeah,
still appealing.
Well, this. Yeah, you go ahead and finish up.
Yeah, he's not the only one. There's others, including Trump. But I bet you Trump will just bide his time, just wait.
Well, okay. Here's the. We're up against a break, but I want to comment on what you said. You bring up a good time. I was going to get to it later, but let's talk about it now quickly because we're up against a break. This separation of the cases. It's two major defeats for the very corrupt Fannie of Fulton County. One, she wanted to have the show trial where the Trump 19 were all in court together for one big trial. Like something out of the Soviet Union before they sent you off to the gulags for the photo ops. And so she's losing that. The other one is we're going to see acquittals in at least some of these separated cases early on. And as she's trying to pursue cases against the president and others way down the road, when others have been acquitted down below, that's a big loss for them because that'll be part of the case for the others. And also they have to show their hand with evidence that they want to keep tight too. To try to in those prosecutions. Yeah, so Fannie of Fulton County, major defeat yesterday.
Yeah, and there's a Washington Examiner article. Her office paid $500,000 to private investigators, not public, private. So,
yeah.
So they blew $500,000 going after Trump. And that's taxpayer money.
And that's scandalous because they have people on the county payroll that would already do it comp because they're already being paid by the county, but they wanted to keep some of the things off books and out of the public records and computers and email systems and such. Hey, PJ, take care. Thanks for the call. Great points. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Exactly. Is it still doing that? You don't know.
I don't. So
Why don't we just pot it down and then see when we and because I pot it down anyway and see what happens. Yeah, it caught me off guard because I went to go to break. I potted it up. It was in the middle of a spot. I'm like, what the heck?
that's what I heard. I was like,
Yeah, and I didn't know how to stop it and go back. I didn't see a way to go back.
I thought I might have been. I thought I fixed it, but like because like this is the original stop set. Like,
Yeah.
That's when it usually stops.
What, the stop set's missing?
Well, it's there, but it just bypasses it anyways. So
Oh.
it's like, why? So I stop it at the rejoiner. Like it's supposed to finish the rejoiner. Well, it's the same thing. It's just one extra.
Yeah.
But like last
Right.
time, like when I tried it last break, I deleted this bottom one, but it just went to the next one, so I had to stop. And I was like, all right, that so I'm trying to figure out. Like I think, like you said, when you go on next, I'm gonna try it again and see.
Yeah.
If that
Yeah, it
works.
was. Yeah, it caught me off guard. Yeah, we're having some technical issues with our system.
This only happened one other time. It was when you were in Boca. And
Oh, yeah?
It happened to me too. Well, it happened in my end of the system, but all the stop sets just weren't there. So
Well,
I had to tell,
I bet you, because there was some stuff on the computer up here. Somebody was, and I closed it out. Somebody was probably messing around and just hit something by accident. Didn't know what they were doing.
it has to be, 'cause, like, there's no other way. Well,
That's why I don't use this computer for the internet or anything.
yeah. Well, it's
I know you
it's
can.
supposed to be separate, but
But well, you get the wrong mouse and you hit something.
yeah, exactly. I was about to say.
Yeah.
Because all the mouses are. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Something.
You have Siegel next.
Oh, yeah, okay. Right. Welcome. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, okay? And everyone like the video. Well, I will give Richie, Richie is right. Anyone that's against Trump, I'm biased against. There's no getting around that. So my opinions of people like Megyn Kelly certainly are impacted by their anti-Trump obsessions that they have. Absolutely. But I don't think that's a negative. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love orange juice. Who doesn't love orange juice? It's gotten so expensive now with inflation, though. Oh, my goodness. Florida orange juice is a luxury even here in Florida. Having orange trees at your house is not a great thing. It attracts rodents and everything else. Squirrels will get the oranges and raccoons. And what they'll do is they'll climb up in the tree, they'll eat part of the orange and then drop it on the ground. Yes, Anita Bryant shirt, yes.
Palm Beach County's only locally owned independent radio group, VCMG Live, is looking for talented, motivated people interested in joining our sales team. Please email your resume to jobs@vcmglive.com. If you're motivated and eager to make money, email your resume today to jobs@vcmglive.com. VCMG Live is an equal opportunity employer. Hey, this is Gabriel with
We're coming back after this.
Or fix anything, and there's no commissions or closing costs. If you want to sell your home easily on your terms, call us
55. Oh my goodness.
561-570-7070.
Conservative Doug's in the chat.
561-570-7070. 561-570-7070.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. Call us on hold. Stand by. The latest poll, Ron DeSantis is in 4th place at 9 points, Steve, in South Carolina. I know. He's only 9 points ahead of you and me. Oh, my. All right, our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Steve, this is Bill from Sanford.
Hey, Bill.
William, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And I hope you are too, Roger.
Roger? Yeah. No, I'm fine.
Roger.
The reason I'm bringing up Roger is I was looking up this Megyn Kelly thing, and...
Were you... Oh, wait a minute. Were you looking up for that desk thing I was talking about?
Yes.
See, didn't I tell you?
Well, you're right about it. I don't disagree with your assessment of how it helped her, but I don't think it was Roger Ailes who did that.
Yeah, but she did it.
Transparent test.
She did it.
Oh yes, she did. Yeah, but you looked uncomfortable.
I mean, it was Willie Brown a married man who wanted to have sex with Kamala. It doesn't mean he didn't mean she didn't do it willingly.
I said I agree with you that it helped her ratings, and you're right.
Yeah.
And, anyways, you're also right about Biden throwing Hunter under the bus too. That's to keep him out of it. I think that's just throwing something out there for the press. But
I mean, you know that monster Ryan Landry that killed Gabby Petito, the van life people.
Yes.
Okay. He obviously did what he did. He murdered that girl, and he was a terrible person. And I'm not saying this is a good thing. This is an extreme example. But his parents covered for him so he could make an escape. Then he went out in the woods and killed himself. But his parents got into some legal trouble because they helped him escape. O.J. Simpson, okay? This is something that's not too well known about this. When after O.J. Simpson murdered Ron and Nicole, he had blood all over his clothes. He went home, and his daughter from his first wife was home, and his daughter washed the murder clothes. And when the police came into O.J.'s house in Brentwood, they found the murder clothes that they had been washed. Family, and those are extreme examples, but the natural instinct of a loving family member is to help their family members when they've done crimes and things like this. Joe and Jill Biden, who are mobsters. They're like the Sopranos, man, and they exploit their son, and they allow him to take the fall for their crime, and
and they used him as a carrier for all the money.
Yeah, who does that?
Mule to bring the money and set it.
Exactly. I mean. Remember in The Godfather when, Marlon Brando, he didn't want send Michael off to college, and he was, and all that stuff. He didn't want him in the family business and all that stuff. And he got, even the mob bosses don't want their kids typically involved in the mobster activities, but,
Better parents than Joe and Jill, that's for sure.
Yeah. Even John Gotti wouldn't want his kids, but not the Bidens.
No. They used their son. I mean, Joe did. I don't know.
And I really feel sorry for Hunter. He is so abused by his father and stepmother.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's. I'm sure that's drove him to drugs because Joe admired Bo. Bo was, he was the thing.
He loves Bo. Let me tell you, Joe loves three things: money, his Corvette, and Bo Biden.
Mm-hmm. And he was probably bringing up Joe to do the same thing he did to be.
Bo was supposed to take over the family business of public corruption and be the senator from Delaware and God knows what else next. And he sadly he passed away. And since his other kids are junkies, he had to come out of retirement, Joe.
Yeah. And that's the only one he has left to bring money in.
That's right. Hey, man, take care. Take care from Sanford, Florida. You know, I want to, since talking about Joe here, you know, Steve, sometimes some of our black liberal callers will call in and call us racist, right? It happens pretty much almost every day. Yeah. And, you know, racism is not disagreeing with you, okay? I mean, their definition of what a racist is very strange to me. But Joe Biden is a racist, and he has a long history of very racist comments. And he said something yesterday about black people that is racist. I'm going to play this for you. He was speaking, I can't remember what, Maryland. He was speaking to some group about Bidenomics, you know, or something. And he was talking about black people in this clip. Let me play this. This is Joe Biden yesterday.
The other portion is a lot of people don't know how to register. Not everybody in the community, in the Hispanic and the African American community, particularly in rural areas that are distant and or inner city districts, know how to get online.
Okay, so yeah, black people don't know how to get on the internet, Joe Biden said yesterday. I mean, come on. Remember when he said that blacks can be lawyers and accountants too, like it was a big deal if they work hard enough? I mean, this guy, black people don't know how to use the internet, he said yesterday. Where's the NAACP and the Black Caucus on this? Where's the squad?
My favorite Biden racist remark was when he was describing, I forget who.
Obama?
Like, when he was talking about it, and he's so neat.
Obama. Oh, okay. It's worse than you remember, Steve, okay? Now, I remember this clearly. This was before he was picked to be his running mate, Obama, okay? When Obama came on the scene, Barack Obama says, I remember it exactly. I don't have the audio, but that's okay. It's imprinted in my brain because it was so strange. He said, look at him, man. He's articulate, good-looking, and clean. Someone should write a book about him. So Joe Biden thought that it was so unusual for a black man to bathe. We got the trifecta. Joe Biden thought that it was so unusual for a black man to be articulate, good-looking, and take baths that it's so unusual someone should write a book about that black man because they're so unique and that they take baths and are intelligent. That's pretty bad. I mean, that's what so you liberals out there who voted for Joe Biden, who call in and call us racist. Yeah, here's another clip of Joe Biden, but that one I just played was from yesterday. It's so unusual to be clean and articulate and bathe. Someone should write a book about that black man. It's so unusual. That's as bigoted as it gets. Here's another classic from Joe.
We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Oh my goodness, that's an oldie but a goodie. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, so only black people are poor. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. And here's one more. Here's one more. It's the last one of Joe.
We've seen record lows in unemployment, particularly, and I've focused on this my whole career, particularly for African Americans and Hispanic workers and veterans. You know, the workers without high school diplomas.
Oh my goodness, blacks and Hispanics. Blacks don't have high school diplomas. I mean, my goodness, Steve. Where's the Black Caucus? Where's Kwesi and Fumi and the NAACP? Are they, you know? Oh my Lord. I mean, it doesn't get more. So those of you out there that are always whining about this is racist, that's a racist, you're racist, we're racist, everybody's a racist. No, none of that. But Joe Biden is. And he doesn't even, see, this is a hard concept to understand. Someone that's a true racist like Joe Biden, they don't even know they're a racist. They just think that's the way it is, right? He thinks blacks don't bathe. He thinks blacks don't know how to use the internet. He thinks black people don't have high school diplomas, but they can be just as smart as white kids, you know, one day. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get more racist than that. It's in his bones. It's in his DNA. And by the way, Hunter Biden's wife is, you know where she's from?
Where?
South Africa, the home of apartheid. You know, you think that if one of the Trump boys were married to a girl from South Africa, the apartheid state of South Africa, you don't think they would be pointing that out all the time in the fake news media? Absolutely they would. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve.
All right, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
We're great. How are you?
I'm great. And a lot of people today are celebrating Rosh Hashanah. So for everyone who's celebrating Lashana Tova, Happy New Year. And since we're talking about Happy New Year, just like we do when it's January 1st, we're going to talk today about New Year's resolutions. And one of the New Year's resolutions that people often have, among many others, but an important one, is to make sure that they have their estate plan done and up to date. And so it's just another opportunity for people to put it on their list of things that they need to do, a resolution to make sure that they take care of their family, make sure they take care of their loved ones, and have everything set up so they don't leave a mess behind. The right people receive your assets when you're no longer here. The wrong people don't get it. We're leaving it to them the right way, make sure that they're protected, whether it's from themselves, in case there may be, for example, drug, alcohol, gambling issues, special needs issues. Maybe they're too young, maybe they're ill, maybe there's many different issues that can come up. Maybe we don't want them to get all the assets all at once. And of course, we want to avoid probate and guardianship. So just a reminder, New Year's resolution, Lashana Tova, and hope everyone has a great holiday.
All right. And remember, no matter where you are in the state of Florida, the Siegel Law Group can help you. And if you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the radio, it's always a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group. You can call them at 855-FLA-3782. That's toll-free, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, have a great holiday and weekend, and we'll talk next week, Barry. All right, back after this.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Show is on the air.
All right, we are back. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian Craig, Steve Kane here. Big announcement, Steve, from Mike Lindell and MyPillow. The Mattress Topper 2.0, which is a major upgrade on the original Mattress Topper. It has the cooling technology, like the new pillows. I have this Mattress Topper. I got one for my daughter, too. It perfectly regulates the temperature of your entire body. No matter what the temperature of your room is, your outside, the inside, whatever it is, you're always the perfect temperature with the MyPillow Mattress Topper 2.0. Comes in every mattress size there is, too. It makes a great gift for yourself or for a loved one. Like I got one for my daughter and just had it delivered to her house in California. It is the lowest price ever, 50% off. I bought two of these, and you're getting a better deal than I got on mine. 50% off for the MyPillow Mattress Topper 2.0. It is a major upgrade. You know, my daughter, we had a guest bed, you know, because when she moved out, we turned her room into something else, so we got a guest bed for her. And we got the MyPillow Mattress Topper 2.0 for the guest bed, but the first night we had not had it yet. And the second night, we had it. And she told me after she slept on the MyPillow Mattress Topper 2.0, she said it was like sleeping on a cloud all night. And I asked her, well, what did it feel like the night before without it? She said, sleeping on a slab of concrete. But now it's like sleeping on a cloud. So the MyPillow Mattress Topper 2.0, 50% off with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Eddie from Virginia.
All right, Eddie.
Hey, Steve. How you doing, man? It's been a while. Listen, can you hear me clearly? Because I'm still on hands-free, but I hope it's a little clear.
I can hear you, yes. Yes, I can hear you.
Fantastic. I got two questions for both you and Brian that I would like you to kind of maybe clear up for me a little bit what I'm going to say. But this is my opinion, and then you can tell me what you think. First question is about why it's taking so long to, get Joe Biden on this corruption thing. Just with regard to just one thing.
Well, yeah.
Email, or there's a series of emails or whatever it is, where Hunter says, and the big guy gets 10%.
Yes. Pops. Yep, Pops. Yep.
Why on earth is it taking so long
Easy.
going and researching this stuff?
Yeah.
Who is the big guy?
Okay. I'll answer the question. Why has he gotten away with it? And I've been asked this on the program in the last few days. I always give the same answer, because Joe Biden is a Democrat, and Democrats are like James Bond. They can commit any crime, commit any sin, and it's okay. They have a license to do whatever they want to do. They can do crime.
Mr. Steele.
Yeah.
I understand that. What I'm saying is, you don't really hear conservative, like, Jim Jordan's stay on that topic. You got to stay on it for it to mean anything. Every day you talk about it. This big guy, who were you referring to? Who did you mean? Say it, how do you put it? Well, he has to say it on the oath. Who exactly was the big guy? Tell us his name.
Yes.
Talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They don't
Time,
do
we're,
this.
we're only into this final act for a couple.
Mm.
A little play out in the wash, not to worry.
Okay. All right. So that's the first one. The second one gets me really hot and bothered. And I don't know why. There's a lot of people that it pisses them off too, but people seem to just kind of make jokes about it. I don't know if you want to talk about it. If you don't, you can cut off and then we move on.
Oh.
But there's literally videos all over YouTube, well, not all over YouTube, because YouTube can take it down, of Joe Biden inappropriately touching children.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that I find to be funny. There's nothing funny about it.
Okay. Let me tell you. Okay. Let's slow down. Let me comment on that one. Children and women of all ages. He gets away with that because the women. He picks his victims. If you have a female in an area where Joe Biden is at one of these ceremonies, chances are you're a Democrat, right? And Democrats put their women in harm's way by bringing them near Joe Biden. I mean, Democrats are a strange lot. I wouldn't bring a female near Joe Biden. It's true. I wouldn't bring a female near Joe Biden, but Democrats don't seem to mind it. They allow him. They allow, like the lords and nobility of the Middle Ages. The Democrats think that Joe Biden is entitled to sniff the hair of their women. Well, we're on the radio, and parents are taking. Listen. Kids are being driven to school by their parents in the cars listening. So
Okay, fine. That's true. The other one that I wanted to say, maybe I shouldn't say. There's a video. Maybe I'll just send a link to you. There's a video of him listening saying something very inappropriate to a young child on video. The child recorded it. You might have seen the video where the child recorded, the president actually saying something, and the president said, "What I said to you, don't tell your mom I said this to you." And I'm thinking, and he's getting away with this?
Yes.
I'm so frustrated. I just want to point
Every dog has its day, and
every dog has its day.
Okay, Joe Biden is about to get his.
Well, let me tell you, caller, here's the thing. People that are sexual predators, like Harvey Weinstein, for example, okay, sexual predators prey on the weak or people that need something from them. And the people that come around Joe Biden are Democrats that are there for a reason. They want something, maybe they're a donor, they want something from him. And so they sacrifice their women to such things.
It's disgusting. And the last one to the black, especially to the black liberals that call your show. I'm a black man. I'm not originally from the United States, but I gotta tell you, it is really disappointing when I hear you guys call into a show like this and literally embarrass yourselves. I gotta be very clear. You can oppose what Donald Trump is doing. Everybody has a choice, right? I came to this country not really knowing too much about a lot of things, although I've been following politics, in America for a long time. I've been, in the background following that. By the way, I'm a journalist from back where, from back home. So I know a lot about radio and all that. I've done all that all my life. I gotta say, it's really embarrassing as a black liberal to call and have no points other than to attack and insult.
Okay. Okay, now let me, okay, no. I want to ask you a question about that. Now, first of all, these callers do not embarrass themselves. Jay from Jersey and all that stuff, Renee from Harlem. Steve and I exposed them, okay? But that's not what I want to ask you.
If the expression means anything to you, they know no shame.
That's true too. Now, but here's my question to you, caller. Why are the liberal blacks who call the show embarrassments? But you've got your head screwed on straight and know the way of the world. Why do you have, as a black man, they're black men, you're a black man, they're nuts, you're saying, why do you think that is? I know the answer. Let's see if you know.
Okay, I think they've been brainwashed over very, very many decades by either the media or, the schools they've been going to.
Correct. Okay. They are, yes, you're black, they're black, but you're not U.S. born, they are. And they're multi-generational brainwash from our public education system and our media into thinking all these crazy things like supporting the party that used to enslave them, that enslaved their ancestors. You are a foreign-born black man, so you haven't been indoctrinated by the liberal system of America that brainwashes American blacks. That's why.
It's really sad when I see it. It's really sad. There's a lot of black American men who obviously don't act that way and who seem to be, a lot wiser, who they say may have been red pilled or whatever. But I'm just saying this is,
Oh, please.
Yeah, that's probably never gonna.
Well, with the two callers you're talking about, Renee from Harlem and Jay from Jersey, what you're talking about are a couple of losers. And their lives are miserable. They don't have families. And when I mean family, I mean a wife and children. I don't mean mommy and daddy and auntie and uncles, okay? They don't have wives, they don't have children, and they also don't have jobs. And as opposed to sitting around saying we're losers and bums and blah, 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 they want to blame somebody for their position in life. And people don't like to take, people don't typically take responsibility for their own station in life. So, oh, it's a racist country. I can't make it because I'm black. No, you can't make it because you sit on your tail in Harlem watching TV all day, Renee. Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's been really bothering me so much that I said I'm going to call on a Friday and talk about that.
Oh, good call.
Nice, yeah, I definitely will. Steve, it's always nice hearing you in the mornings as well, and Brian is doing a fantastic job as always.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys, man.
All right, take care. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, they were just talking on Newsmax. Of all people, Barney Frank asking them about these charges against...
Barney Frank?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Little crap. So listen to this.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Oh, yeah, I know. And worse than that, Brian, he's in Maine right now.
Doing what?
I don't know, probably vacationing. But anyway, he was saying that these charges are appropriate and that the tax evasion ones weren't, he was ready to plead guilty of that. Well, why didn't he plead guilty and make a plea deal? And he did not identify as a foreign agent.
Yeah.
And so much, the worst charges were never brought to the table. So this is just another little morsel thrown out there, and Biden will probably pardon him anyway.
Yeah. Now listen, we're running out of time for the hour, but I know people from Newsmax listen to the show. It's just my opinion. I'm really not interested in hearing liberal pundits like Barney Frank on Newsmax. I'm just not interested in it. But I'm not. I haven't heard that name in many, many years, Barney Frank. But I think it's, if I want to listen to liberals, I'll turn on Fox.
Great point, Brian, and that's what I meant by saying where I heard it, because we need to have conservative
real news. I don't need some liberal ex-congressman to tell me the liberal viewpoint on things. Hey, listen, Jeff, we got to run for a break, but thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane's here. Call us on hold. Stand by. Back right after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robe Studio. Injured recently? Call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the Oldies forecast.
Hey guys, welcome. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Everyone like the video. Jeff's calls are always great. Yeah, Jeff has very good calls.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
95 northbound approaching 45th Street, a multi-vehicle crash off to the right shoulder. The rest of the Palm Beach Expressway is incident free this time, but we are seeing some more buildups on 95 heading northbound from Deerfield Beach and Boca. Also through West Palm on 95 heading northbound from Southern Boulevard up to the Beaver Highway. The service streets are accident free at this time. This quarter sponsored by Macy's. Join Macy's and Hispanic Federation to support student growth and mentoring now during Hispanic Heritage Month. Donate online or when you check out at any Macy's store. Learn more at Macy's.com/purpose. That's traffic, Chris Barr.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. PBKC's dinner and comedy show season is coming up with amazing events live in the paddock. Enjoy an amazing dinner with Notre Dame football Hall of Fame coach Lou Holtz on Wednesday, October 4th. Or see the Rat Pack now on Friday, October the 20th. Let It Be Ultimate Tribute to the Beatles on November 17th. Plus, December features Andrew Dice Clay, Jackie Martling, Memories of Elvis, and much more. For more information or buy tickets, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon here with a question. How would you like a free doorbell camera? You get a doorbell camera, you get a doorbell camera, and you get a doorbell camera. I wish we had them for everyone, but the first 40 True Oldies channel listeners to call 833-283-5050 will get a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with installation of your Sloman Shield. You can see your home right from the palm of your hand. And that's not all.
All right.
Free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station.
Yes.
So you're getting an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery. Plus, we have the first 40 True Oldies channel listeners to dial 833-283-5050.
Do any of you feel bad for Hunter? I mean, do you agree that Hunter's abused by his dad? He's an abused child. His dad introduced him to a life of crime. Right? You guys agree with that or not?
Here's your True Oldies ABC News Update.
ABC News Now, I'm Tom Rivers. On strike. Workers at Detroit's big three automakers walked off the job at midnight after contract talks broke down.
Mixed answers.
1,000 workers at a GM plant in Missouri, a Stellantis Jeep plant in Toledo, Ohio, and at a Ford plant just outside Detroit, walking the picket line this morning. Here's a Ford worker.
We make this company billions of dollars on our backs. You know what I'm saying? My parents retired from here. You know, give us what we deserve. That's all we're asking for. Nothing more, nothing less.
The big three say they're financially strapped as they look to build more electric cars. Workers want raises, pensions, and benefits for new hires, and a 4-day work week. Other news, closing arguments in the impeachment trial of Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. He's accused of abusing his power
Are you a UAW person? You should call in.
Order the spicy chicken biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests pay for their testimonials.
Love the outdoors and the open road? Don't miss RV Out. Saturday noon to 10 a.m. Hosted by Giant Recreation Generation owner and CEO Larry McNamara. Here's co-host Adam Adams. RV Out. Saturday mornings 10 a.m. right here on the Triple H channel.
All right, we're back.
It's the Steve King Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we're back. Call us on hold. Stand by. Steve, I don't know if at your studio, can you hear the top of the hour news? No. Okay. Sometimes. Okay. Well, that's okay because I'll tell you what happened. I was listening to the top of the hour news and at the top of the hour break we just had, and they were interviewing some of these United Auto Workers strikers on the picket line, and they were interviewing people from the Ford picket line, and they had one of the strikers at the top of the hour. Did you hear this, Mike? He said, this company, this company's made billions of dollars off our backs. And this guy on the picket line thinks that he and his UAW brothers on the picket line today built Ford. Now again, I don't know, Steve. Maybe I'm getting old, but I was under the impression that Mr. Henry Ford, who invented the assembly line, made Ford Motor Company what it is today. Not some griping guy that wants to work 4 days a week on the picket line, talking to the media. I don't know. What is it? Yeah. Oh yeah, in China. Those are in China. Yeah, they're good. I mean, yeah, the thing is, okay, all of us have value to our employers and such, but the guy on the picket line, he's not risking anything, right? Ford, regardless, we had the shutdowns for a couple years, and Ford, they still got to pay the taxes on the factories. They still got to pay salaries. There's a lot of overhead, and when they talk about billions of dollars, that's not necessarily in profit, but there's a lot of risk. But I'm listening to these strikers, and Henry Ford and many great men after him built the auto industry. The unions have driven it to China and all these other union jobs as well. There was a time when unions did good. My grandfather was a union guy back in the 1920s and 30s. And back in the 20s and 30s, the unions did good things. Okay? Yeah. That's why I never bring up unions. Yeah, exactly. Oh. Yeah, that's why I never bring up unions. That's why I never bring up unions, because Steve breaks into union songs. But 100 years ago, they did good work. Today, all they do is cause problems and cost people their jobs. And the arrogance of this guy to think that he built Ford Motor Company, this guy on the picket line today, is just, do they teach about Henry Ford in the assembly line anymore? All right, let's go to the phone. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Trump starts the apocalypse, right?
What?
He starts the apocalypse.
What's that? The apocalypse?
I'm soon enough for.
What is the apocalypse? Is that like a place?
The apocalypse is when the Antichrist takes over.
Isn't that in Greece? The apocalypse?
The thing is that it's a part of the end. It's a part of the end of the world, the apocalypse. The Antichrist rules the world. One world government is going to be one world government, and he's going to be over all.
I have one question. Will we all have good, high-paying union jobs when the apocalypse comes?
No, because the saints are going to be persecuted.
Okay, let me ask you a question, caller, which I shouldn't do. Yeah, they are. Yeah. When? Now, first off, this is your second call today. It's one call per show, but that's okay. You're obviously going through an episode. It wasn't that funny, but it's true. Okay, you said. Yeah, okay, you say that Donald Trump is the Antichrist, right? Okay, okay, okay. So this is my question to you. Okay, let me finish my question and then respond. Okay, and I want a logical answer to my question. If Donald Trump is the Antichrist, okay, how is the Antichrist? Why does he allow you to call this show and expose him? You did it earlier in the show, and this is your second call. If he truly were the Antichrist, wouldn't he strike you down and stop him from exposing his devious plans? But he's the you have the powers to hide from the Antichrist?
Nobody know where you. The Antichrist is not all seeing, and he's not all knowing.
Listen, I could find out who you are and where you're calling from if I wanted to, and I'm not the Antichrist. I'm just a guy taking calls here at the radio station.
I understand.
I'm hearing him wake out of the moment, Steve. If he were the Antichrist is Satan, so if he were the devil, I think the devil would stop you from exposing his devilish plans.
He'll be exposed sooner or later.
No, but would he not want to stop you? You know, there are people who listen to this show that are in President Trump's circle, okay, in his immediate circle. You think that if he were the devil, the Antichrist, those around him who are his minions, you don't think that the devil would stop you from exposing him?
Try.
What is the devil? Okay, what has the Antichrist done most recently to stop you from exposing him?
Well, they've been trying to hit me with their cars, trying to kill me. They've been doing everything.
When was the last time? Okay, when was the last time Donald Trump tried to kill you? Oh, hold on. Slow down, caller. Hold on. Tell us about the last time Donald Trump tried to kill you.
I'm just saying he had servants.
Okay, tell us the story. The last time that one of his servants tried to kill you.
People that work is almost every.
Okay, you said they tried to mow you down with a car. Tell us about that.
Well, it's the thing is that I escaped. Okay,
okay, you escaped, but before you escaped, it happened. Walk us through the whole story. You were somewhere, and a minion of the Antichrist, a minion of Satan, tried to kill you with the car because you're exposing Donald Trump as the Antichrist. Tell us what happened, the entire story from beginning to end, please.
The world will soon know that he's the Antichrist.
But tell us when they tried to run you over with the car.
Acts like he's the savior of the world, but he's not. He's a deceiver.
Well, you sound like a deceiver because you will not tell us the story of when they tried to kill you with the car.
You do what I'm talking about.
It goes to your credibility.
Lack thereof.
The only thing I'm telling you.
What kind of car was it? Was it fire engine red? The car. What kind of car did the devil try to kill you with?
And then he gonna claim himself to be God.
No, excuse me. What kind of car was the minion of Donald Trump driving when they tried to kill you with it?
You know, all these people that work witchcraft.
Here's the thing. You're not totally crazy. Because anytime we bring something up to you to shed some reality on your delusions, you divert from it. So you're not fully lost, okay? And all I can do is recommend that you seek out some therapy. No, because you're not totally gone yet. You don't want to talk about the story of Donald Trump trying to kill you because you can't.
And the truth is in the Bible.
I agree that the truth is in the Bible. That is true. But I want to get to the truth about Donald Trump sending a minion to try to kill you in his car, and you've not been able to tell us the story.
But you know what? If you read the Bible, the prophets that were in the Bible, they were trying to kill them, but killed them because their time had not come.
But why do you think you're unable to walk us through the story that you mentioned? You said that they tried to kill you many times, including run you over with cars. Why do you think you're not able to give us a specific story about these incidents?
It's irrelevant.
Is it possible because they didn't happen? Is it possible that they didn't happen?
It did happen.
Then tell us.
Right.
No. If Donald Trump sends someone in a car to run you over, and you could tell us the story and identify the vehicle and walk us through it and everything else, it could give credibility to the warning you're trying to give to the public.
Because the thing is that the people are blind and they can't see.
Okay, all right. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
This is John from Lighthouse Medical Center, CFO and Director of Neuropathy. We want to welcome you to Lighthouse Medical Center this year. It's our 75th anniversary, and we've been able to help a lot of patients. We want to be able to help you with your neuropathy issues as well. You have numbness, burning, pain, tingling, lack of sleep, or balance issues.
Wow.
Please come see us and let us help you with that problem. There's hope out there for you. We've had thousands of
Wow.
patients come through Lighthouse Medical Center.
He's not gone. If he were totally gone, he would have a story.
Their family has been a blessing to us and a blessing to them, and we look forward to doing that for the next 75 years. We don't just treat neuropathy at Lighthouse Medical Center. We have a specialized knee pain program with non-surgical solutions for bone-on-bone and knee pain issues. We also treat chronic back pain, ankle, knee, hip, and shoulder pain. Call for a free consultation with us today. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
Discover paradise with Margaritaville at Sea, the only cruise line offering sailings from the Port of Palm Beach to Grand Bahama Island. Relish a cheeseburger in paradise at the open air burger bar. Relax your senses at the St. Summer Spa, or revitalize the night with live musical performances and refreshing Caribbean breezes. From pickleball to piano bar and everything in between. Come see for yourself why guests are loving the newly
Wow.
Margaritaville at Sea paradise.
Gotta feel bad for that guy.
MargaritavilleAtSea.com to learn more and get a great deal on your next Bahamas cruise.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent.
No, I'm not gonna beat up on somebody that's totally mentally ill like that.
Make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs,
You know.
a mile west of University on the south side of Santa
But I did bring him out of his delusion a little bit.
Suffered with massive pain in my knee for years, but not anymore. It's all gone thanks to Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain system. I feel right now with Dr. Appleton. Dr. Appleton, how'd you do it?
I treated knee pain with laser. Treatment is simple and no side effects. I have robotic lasers that have a wonderful effect on joint pain. These are all FDA approved.
Now you don't just help with knees. Tell the listeners what other areas you can help them with.
Any joint I can do, shoulder pain, hip pain, sciatica, stenosis, arthritis, tendonitis, bursitis, from the foot all the way up to the neck.
Dr. Appleton is a chiropractic physician, and with the laser away pain system, there's no injections, no surgery, and no drugs. He's open 6 days a week, and same-day appointments are available. Call right now for your free consultation. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And make sure to tell Dr. Appleton you heard about him on the radio.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world.
All right, every line on our board is lit. Steve Kane is here. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. Now, if you're planning on retiring in the next 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, or retiring at any point in your life, you need a plan of action. And to put together a plan of action for that retirement in your future, you need advice from a retirement expert who has seen it all, and that is Joe Thomas. He's president of Retirement Network Advisors, which is South Florida's premier retirement experts and have been for over 20 years. And you guys know him from True Oldies here. He's host of the Jupiter Joe Money Show, and he's been doing that for over a decade, okay? And Joe Thomas is offering a free copy of his book, The Retirement Know-It-All. And you can get your book for free. I have the book right here. I started to read a very good book. Just go to jupiterjoe.com. That's jupiterjoe.com and request a free copy of Joe's book. You can also call 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999, or go to jupiterjoe.com and request your free book. And Steve, on the cover of this book, I like this, right? It's from financial expert Joe Thomas, Retirement Know-It-All. And then at the bottom, it says here, this is on the front cover, the rich get richer because they know things other people don't. That's right. So when it comes to finances, you want to listen to successful people because they know how it's done. And jupiterjoe.com, you go there, you can request your free book, the one I have in my hand right now. That's jupiterjoe.com, or call 561-743-0999. All right, Steve, every line on the board is lit.
To brief
Okay.
expound upon
Yes.
to the cause. You'll notice the jump that we had in the ratings, Mr. Trump.
Oh, yes.
Well,
he's us.
And I mean, it was dramatic. It was. I think he went up. I think like 8 points 7 or 8 points.
Wow.
This week, you remember?
The last poll I saw was at, he was over 60%.
Yeah.
62, I think I saw, the Wall Street Journal poll.
I saw a poll that had him as high as 67%.
Oh, my.
I figured out, yes, and I figured out what's going on, because it's going on within me, and I think it's going on within a lot of people. I got scared. I had I'm used to looking to Donald Trump to cure our ills here in this country, to set things back to where they were when there was integrity in government and all that good stuff, and we were safe. And I feel that's missing. I think people are getting scared. I mean, I'm afraid. My fear is that it's too late. My fear is, you realize the big thing is, of course, getting Donald Trump elected. But after he's elected, we're going to have to go, how long is it going to be? Over a year.
Yeah. A year from November.
I think people are taking a look, and people are realizing the dangerous situation we're in, and they're getting scared. And I think that's why the spurts of votes for Trump are getting heavier and thicker and more prevalent.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that's yeah.
Make it.
We have no choice, Steve. We have no choice.
When you have no alternative, everything gets a lot easier.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's take some of these calls, and I have lost track in the as to what order they were received in, so it's a roulette wheel here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian and Steve. It's Andrea.
Andrea, how are you on this fine day?
I'm great, Steve. I enjoyed the singing very much.
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to turn my headphones down. Let me ask you, do you really like Steve singing, or are you just trying to torture me, caller?
Well, no, I really like
Okay.
smile. It does
Exactly,
make me
it's
smile.
pertinent to what we're talking about.
No, Steve's good. Steve is an actor. A lot of people don't know this, and I've seen Steve perform a few times. And the last time I saw you, you were in a production of Gilbert and Sullivan, and you had a solo act on stage, and you were dressed in a tuxedo and had a cane like the peanut guy, the Planters peanut, and you and you did really. I was really surprised, and Steve sings different on stage than he does on the radio. You were good. You were really good. I know you were, and you did. I told you this, and this will sound you sang through the whole play, but you had this massive solo number, and I was blown away by it. You were dancing and everything. I can't do any of that stuff, and it's true. Gilbert, what was that play? Was it Gilbert and Sullivan?
It's, the Mikado.
The Mikado, yes. It was the Mikado.
We are gentlemen of Japan.
It was better on stage. It was better. I was in a play. I've been in some productions too. I was in a play where I had a scene with Al Goldstein. And if you don't know who Al Goldstein is, yeah, I had a scene with Al Goldstein. If you look up Al Goldstein, it was at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts, which is a big theater house in Fort Lauderdale. That's right. Yes, he was. And look him up. I had my performance was not as good as Steve. I had my lines hidden, so that because I couldn't remember my lines, and there was no singing. But anyway, Andrea. Okay, go ahead, Andrea.
That really went off the rails pretty quick.
Well, from the Antichrist to this.
Well, I just want to let that last caller know that the Antichrist is he's in the White House right now. He's already there. Not Donald Trump. He's there. He's there right now.
I wouldn't laugh about that. That would scare me.
With the hoe of Babylon backing him up. But that's not why I'm calling. I want to see what Matt Gaetz is made out of. I want to see what Matt Gaetz does. I want to see what Matt Gaetz does now that Kevin McCarthy called him out.
He got in his face yesterday, Kevin McCarthy.
Yes, he did. And I hope that Matt Gaetz goes to the floor today and puts in a motion to vacate. I hope Matt Gaetz does it. Because I think out of anybody in there, Matt Gaetz has the spine to do it.
Yeah.
McCarthy has been nothing but he's a tremendous liar. He's a snake. I really can't say what I want to say because Brian will never take my calls again. But I hope Matt Gaetz puts his foot on the accelerator and presses
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
Gaetz has the stuff.
Okay. All right, Andrea. No. But he's been talking about having another speaker vote, Matt Gaetz. And yesterday, McCarthy got in private. I wish it was on television. Started dropping F-bombs and got in Matt Gaetz's face, yelling at him yesterday. They had a blow up. But yeah, I know. I wish it was on TV, but we've only heard reports of it. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our bottom of the hour break. Come back with more of your calls. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Steve is here. We'll be back right after this break.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning.
Now, by the way, guys, I put a link to get the free book in the chat. It's pinned at the top. So if you click that, send for your free book. This is a new sponsor. Let them know that you support our program and send for your free book. If you're not watching live, the link is in the chat. I mean, as well as in the description, or just go to jupiterjoe.com. All right? That's right. You got to take financial advice from successful people. That's exactly right. The link is pinned in the chat. I'd appreciate if you did that, guys.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check, brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Awesome, Bruce. That's cool. Thank you.
Crash blocking 2 left lanes in the south lane on 95 at Sandy. This report is sponsored by Discover. Discover credit cards are awesome at the end of your first year. They automatically double all the cash back you earn. That's right, everything you earn double. The cash back from trips, restaurants, all double. Seriously, those terms, check it out for yourself at discover.com/match. That's traffic. Here's more.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. The poker room with PBKC features daily cash games, mega bad beat jackpots, big money tournaments, and high hands every 20 minutes from 9 a.m. to midnight. And tournament players earn points towards cash prizes and big buy-ins. Visit our newly expanded casino table game area with Ultimate Texas Hold'em and 3-card poker with just a $5 minimum 7 days a week. For more information, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Building Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry for 40 years. We are originally from
No, they're going to send you the real book, just like this one. It's a real book. They're going to send it to you for free. JupiterJoe.com, and I have the link in the description of the video and pinned in the chat. You get a real physical book. Somebody had just asked.
At Laporta Contracting, family is what we are, and roofing and restoration is what we do. We help guide our customers to a successful outcome by constantly informing them every step of the way. At Laporta Contracting, let our family take care of your family. Call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or visit us on our website at laportacontracting.com.
Well, I appreciate you guys doing it. It should, you support our sponsors and show them that you support us by supporting them, and that goes a long way to keep the show going. I have an old car too. My daughter is 24 years old now, right? My daughter was in 5th grade when we bought my car. So that was like, my car's like 12, 13 years old. Yeah, it's parked right there. My wife has a newer car, but my car's old. I'm not into cars. I know a lot of guys are. Oh, Carrie Lake's awesome. Did you guys hear my interview with Carrie Lake? You know, Albert, about Billy Graham and Nixon, that sounds so familiar.
Hi, it's Scott Simmons from Florida Weekly. This week we examine how to provide a safety net for Florida Panthers even as their habitats shrink.
An 87 custom van, that sounds cool.
Jimmy Buffett and Ballet Palm Beach announces a season of classics. Read these and other stories in Florida Weekly.
Matt Gaetz is a nice guy. I've met him a couple times. He's totally cool. And I was talking about this on the podcast. I've met him a couple times, and I've seen him speak in person a couple times. When he goes on stage, it's electrifying. It really is amazing. Okay. Here we go. All right, we are back. There's only one opening on our board. See, before we go back to the calls, there's a couple things I wanted to bring up. Okay. Now this, I want to play this clip again. I played this in the first hour, but it's really good. President Trump is going to be on Meet the Press on Sunday. And let me tell you, I don't think I've gone out of my way to watch Meet the Press since Tim Russert was alive. He's been dead for many, many years. And they got a new host. They got rid of Chuck Todd, and now they have Kristen Welker, who's a big Democrat donor and everything else. But this is her big break, right? She's hostess of Meet the Press, and she is chosen for her first interview on her first show to interview Donald Trump. She could have interviewed, her and her family are massive Democrat donors, okay? They're big. Plus, she's the NBC White House correspondent and has been for 12 years. She could have interviewed anyone on her first interview on her first show. She could have had Biden. She could have had Zelensky. She could have had anyone on the planet. She chose Donald Trump. And the reason she did that is she wants to have a huge ratings launch, and she wants to be relevant. And she knows that the most interesting and important person on the planet Earth is the greatest president we've ever had, Donald Trump. And that interview is going to be on Sunday. They've only released one audio clip, and I want to play this. She asks President Trump about pardoning himself. Listen.
Mr. President, if you were reelected, would you pardon yourself?
I could have pardoned myself. You know what? I was given an option to pardon myself. I could have pardoned myself when I left. People said, would you like to pardon yourself? I had a couple of attorneys that said, you can do it if you want. I had some people that said it would look bad if you do, because I think it would look terrible. I said, here's the story. These people are thugs, horrible people, fascists, Marxists, sick people. They've been after me from the day I came down the escalator with Melania, and I did a great job as president. People are acknowledged. Great economy, great jobs, great this, great that. Rebuilt the military, Space Force, everything. I could go on forever. Let me just tell you. I said, the last thing I'd ever do is give myself a pardon.
Wow. So, so the last thing I would ever do is give myself a pardon. He's talking about a second term pardon, not just that he could have done it and didn't do it in the first term. I think that's pretty amazing, Steve.
It's certainly it. One, and it would permit him to serve. Why would not?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that interview is going to be Sunday, and I don't know, 10 o'clock or something. I don't know. It airs different in different markets, different times in different markets. Okay, so you got to look for it, but it'll be all over the news. Everyone's going to be talking about it. And so, all right, let's go back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Satan from Hades. I was wondering if you could give me the phone number for that.
I don't know. Maybe I should give you the phone number of, I heard the Kennel Club, they're having Jackie Martling over there. Maybe I can give you Jackie's number because he's better at comedy than you. All right, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Dave.
By the way, that guy held on. That guy was on hold for 28 minutes. 28 minutes for that. Can you imagine holding on for 28 minutes for that? He had Steve, he was sitting on hold thinking about what he was going to say for 28 minutes, and that's what he came up with? Wow. Wow.
His limited abilities.
Yeah, think? All right, caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Dave from Virginia.
Hey, Dave.
Good morning, Steve and Brian.
What's up, David?
I'm just thinking, if Trump would have been the Antichrist, he sure wouldn't have had abortion stopped, that's for sure.
That's true. He overturned Roe v. Wade. That doesn't sound very Antichrist-like.
No, it does not. And, the Democrat in the Congress, they still got their heads in the ground because they keep saying there's no evidence out there that Joe Biden did no wrong. And I just, I had to turn it off yesterday. I had to.
Well, the reason they do that is because they're all on the take too, or they dream of it. Either they're on the take or they dream of it. So they defend it so they can,
Look at this. All of Trump's policies made the country great, period. And now you get to see the opposite side. You see how we're in the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why this phenomenon, this unheard of phenomena, is manifesting itself now, because people are remembering what were the good old days, and they know how great it was then, and how it is now, and that's why these polls are doing things that polls have never done before.
Yeah, I can't. Trump's poll numbers are so high. I've been telling you this for a couple weeks, and I've been proven wrong every time. I said, I don't think he can go any higher because you're always going to have haters. But he's in the 60s, and it's still going up. These polls of his are historic in nature. He has the highest poll numbers in history of a presidential candidate, highest in history.
Yeah, I love it when they'll get to where Trump's got so many, and they all have just one.
Yeah. No.
It's going to keep on going too, by the way. I'm here to tell you that it is going to continue to go up. I didn't think that might be possible, but it's evident to me now that's how it's going to play out. Because every time he gets up there, he pisses people off because he tells the truth.
Mm-hmm.
People realize how how abused we have been by this system, and how it abuses us and it abuses one of the few honest politicians that's out there, and people are doing the network.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to.
That's correct.
Phenomenon. That's a good way to. No, I'll tell you the truth.
All right, take it. Good to hear from you. All right, let's see here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jim from Boca.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe, what do you know?
Oh boy. Yes, you're on the air. What? Go ahead, Joe from James. James from Boca. What's on your mind?
James.
Hey, guy. Well, I think Steve kind of hit it on the head. Everybody's they're going from living to existing.
Yes. That's correct.
The money being gone, and then the other thing is, I think that in the first 3 weeks of Biden's regime, he should have been impeached.
They should have. Well, let me tell you. When Newt Gingrich had the contract for America, and the Republicans took over both houses of Congress for the first time in, I think it was 40 years, might have been 30, but it was 30 or 40 years. It was a big deal. And Newt Gingrich, in that first night, they all got sworn in. They were there all night. They did an overnight passing legislation that they promised. And frankly, Kevin McCarthy, they should, after they picked him, which took a little long, I know, they should have spent that whole night impeaching him that first day. The first action when they had Kevin McCarthy as Speaker, they should have impeached him that day. That should have been McCarthy's first action. But they didn't do it because he's the Judas of Mar-a-Lago. Kevin McCarthy cannot be trusted. Steve, he has what he's done nothing. He hasn't impeached Biden even still yet. They haven't even had a vote on it. They haven't even had a vote on it yet. He's
got to convince them.
We have the majority. The Republicans control the House. They should need no convincing. It should just be done. All right, let's see here. Let's go. Here we go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jersey Mike from West Palm Beach.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike. What's up?
Hey, I tell you what. For having gone to the Broward school system, I gotta say you are extremely knowledgeable in all different fields. I admire your knowledge because I don't know anybody else as young as you are.
As young, oh my.
First.
I guess he's not talking about me.
Wow.
Steve, I do like your singing. I think you and I can get together.
Oh my. Well, see, Steve and I came from different sides of the track, okay? Steve went to the same high school as President John F. Kennedy. That's not a joke. Steve went to the same high school as President Kennedy. I went to Stranahan High School in Fort Lauderdale at the height of the crack epidemic. We
Say something about Trump, okay?
But yeah.
I'm on the same page when it comes to Trump because since Reagan and during Reagan's time, everybody in this country prospered. I didn't know anybody that didn't prosper, and I was in my own business at that.
Yeah.
Very, very well, along with a lot of other people I knew. I'm a chemical engineer for 45 years, so I know, all the details and that type of thing and figure out problems. But I'm saying that during that time, everybody prospered.
Well, not everybody, okay? Regular people like you and me and Steve and people listening did. But the Washington insiders that are all on the take didn't. The military-industrial complex, President Trump's the only president since the Second World War to not start a new conflict. So the military-industrial complex had to start another one in Ukraine immediately after Trump was out. The Washington insiders didn't get all their backroom earmark deals to rip off taxpayer dollars for their donors. Those of us who make an honest living did well, but the dishonest Washington crew did not make money during President Trump's first term.
Let me tell you what else he did for us veterans. I did Vietnam, okay, which was a pretty brutal deal. He went ahead and passed a law. It's in the Federal Register that says anybody who has an appointment with the medical in the VA that goes at 28 days or longer has to go out to community care and have a professional take care of them because veterans.
Okay, you're a Vietnam veteran. You're a Vietnam veteran. When were you in Vietnam?
65 and 67.
Oh my goodness, these Vietnam veterans are getting old, man. Okay, I want to ask you a question as a Vietnam veteran. I learned something about Vietnam this week when Joe Biden was there. The Viet Cong, the VC run Vietnam, right? The Viet Cong run Vietnam, right? I mean that's it. We lost, right? They have the VC, the Viet Cong, because Biden visited it, have an honor memorial of John McCain where they have a guard standing guard. They got a VC soldier who stands guard of John. Why do the VC have a memorial honoring John McCain in Vietnam? What are your thoughts on that as a veteran of Vietnam?
Well, I would say this here. John McCain became the epitome of the wounded man, okay, because of his arm, and he was in bed for 5.
That was from the crash, not torture.
That's correct. Let me tell you, there are no more cruel people in the world than the Viet Cong. I can tell you some things that would just.
Yeah, but I only know of 2 men who were American service personnel in Vietnam that are honored by the Vietnam today. John McCain with that memorial that Biden tripped over when he was over there, and at the embassy in Saigon, our old embassy is a museum. They have John Kerry's picture on the wall at the Vietnam Museum in our old embassy in Saigon that thanks John Kerry for his help in their efforts against America. Why are Senators John McCain and John Kerry honored by the Viet Cong? I don't know of any others that are.
I don't know the answer to that question. I wish I knew.
Well, maybe they're collaborators. Maybe these Vietnam veterans are collaborators with the enemy. How about that? Is that a possibility?
You don't know this probably, but we started that conflict. If you really know.
Yes, I know. Yeah, for the military, like Ukraine.
With our gunboat that shot across the bow of that approaching Vietnamese vessel, and they didn't stop, so we just.
Yeah, that's true. Talking golf. Listen, I appreciate the call. We got to run for our last break of the day. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
On the line from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca, we have William Youngerman. William Youngerman, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. How are the metals looking today?
Metal's looking great.
Now, I wanted to ask you about a couple things. Now, listeners call and ask me questions. I know nothing. Call William Youngerman. They've got all the answers on these things. But there's 2 things I want to ask you about. I've heard from people. One, pre-33 gold. Do you deal in pre-33 gold?
Absolutely. We've made a market in pre-1933 gold since 1969 or 67, actually, and that's one of our specialties. We do deal a lot in the old U.S. $20 gold pieces, $10, $5. And as well as world gold coins from prior to 1933. And we make a very fair margin. In fact, we had somebody come in and price get a quote on our prices, and they were amazingly, we were over $500 per ounce cheaper than what some of the marketers are selling pre-33 gold for. So that was an eye-opener for us.
Wow.
The TV ads, you see, they're charging huge markups on pre-1933 gold, and there's absolutely no reason to pay that kind of premiums. We have it in stock for immediate delivery at very reasonable and wholesale prices for our Steve Kane listeners.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that only are like exclusive pre-33 gold. That's amazing. $500 less. Yeah, but I'm sure the TV guy are limiting it to 5 coins per call at this point. Now listen, William Youngerman, the number 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. The address 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. All right, that's it. All right, take care. Take care.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on.
All right, we're back now. William Youngerman is not with us live today, so you're going to get the amateur gold report from me. And what that means is I go to WilliamYoungerman.com, William Youngerman's website, and read you the numbers off his website. That's to call it even a gold report is a joke. But look, today is one of those days. You hear me tell William Youngerman often, the metals are on sale. Listen to these great prices, Steve. Gold is up $6.50. at just 19, 18, and 10 cents an ounce. Pretty good price on gold. Good time to pick it up. Silver is up 35 cents at $23.08 an ounce. And platinum is up $17 today at $934. So listen, call or stop in. William Youngman is not here with us live today, but his store is open at 10 a.m. The address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building. You can call him toll-free, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Rabbi David.
Oh, hey, Rabbi. Wait a minute. Isn't today a Jewish holiday? Are you allowed to be on the phone, man?
Starts tonight.
Okay, all right.
So, happy. First of all, before we get to the Happy New Year, I just want to say the clip you did on Meet the Press, the sizzle piece they put out there, it's actually very telling that I think it might be a good interview because they let Donald Trump speak.
Yes.
He wasn't interrupted. So I'm kind of, maybe they thought he was going to sink himself, but he doesn't do that. But I was kind of impressed with the amount of time to let him talk without them jumping in trying to challenge him. So it might actually be something interesting.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah, that was that. And as far as the Jewish New Year, I wanted to wish Steve and you a good, happy Jewish New Year for everybody, the Jewish listeners. Something interesting about this New Year, that it's Hebrew letters for 5784, which is the New Year. Actually, I saw something interesting. Corresponds, it's the acronym for, it should be a year of President Donald.
What?
SHPD. That's the new.
Oh, okay.
So I hope that's a hint.
Let me ask you, Rabbi. Do Jews say Happy Jewish New Year or just Happy New Year tonight?
Depends who we're talking tonight. People say actually Shana Tova or Shana Tova, or they say you should be written in the book of life.
Okay.
They say.
My favorite thing, I've talked to Rabbi David about this. I love it when people say Jewish rabbi, and I always say, is there another kind? I don't know.
Well, who knows? Today there were so many genders. Maybe there were Jewish rabbis and non-Jewish rabbis.
Oh my goodness! All right, Rabbi David, have a good weekend. All right, it's Rosh Hashanah, isn't it, Steve? You're not sure. You're the Jew here. What do you don't know? I don't know. Oh my goodness! All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Steve and Brian. This is Rob from California. I want to say about Trump not pardoning himself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the adjective amazing is inadequate because it is beyond amazing that he's not going to pardon himself. Because that shows how big of a man he is. He is extremely huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean fat. I'm not saying fat, or I mean a big character.
Yes.
Say.
Yes. Have you ever seen President Trump in person?
Unfortunately, not.
Yeah, I'll tell you two things about President Trump when you're up close and in person. That first of all, his voice is deeper in person than it is on television. I don't know why that is. He's got a deeper voice in person than on television, and he is always smiling. Anytime I've been in his presence, he's been smiling ear to ear. That's what Steve you always say to me, Steve. Are you worried about this? And I always say to you, does Trump look worried? And when I see, and he's the one facing over 1,000 years in jail. So when I see Trump worry, then I'll worry.
I think your confidence is well placed.
Yep. All right. Hey, Rob, take care. Yes. Oh.
When I called about the TV networks, and you said that they didn't lose any money and stuff, you gave me something to chew on. And the more I chewed on it, the more I thought, hey, he's right.
Yeah, there you go. Well, on that point of agreement, I don't even remember the call, but you said I was right. That's awesome. Now, it's Friday. That means it's the weekend, and that means you're going to be more active, right? I know I am. I've got one of the honey-do list is waiting for me, Steve. The honey, and if you guys don't know what a honey-do list, that's the list your wife gives you of things to do, okay? And I got a lot of them. I gotta pressure clean the back porch. I gotta organize some things in the house. Well, I don't have sons like you do, Steve. Okay, so I gotta do, and I got some other things I gotta do too. But I'll tell you, I wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff if it wasn't for Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain treatment. His laser away pain treatment has rid me of pain 5 different times with 5 different types of pain. Sometimes from injuries, sometimes from arthritis, from just growing older. These things happen, and he can help you too. And remember, even on the weekends, you can go in there today. Appointments are not necessary, and walk-ins are welcome with Dr. Appleton. If you're tired of taking medications or shots for your pain, go see Dr. Appleton. All you have to lose is your pain. He's my chiropractor, and he wants to be your chiropractic physician too, all right? Give him a call, 954-973-0710. And when you call, if you need directions, they'll text them to your cell phone if you ask them, okay? 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. All right, it's the final stretch here. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, caller. Yes, you're on the air.
Hi. In response to Trump being the Antichrist,
yes,
the Democratic Party believes in abortion up to 9 months and even after birth.
Correct.
They also believe in child mutilation. They also are warmongers. Trump doesn't want any war. And he said Trump is the, world order. No, he's America, make America great again. The new world order is what Joe Biden is into.
Mm-hmm.
Pushes of China and Russia and everybody else. And screw America.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Explain that to me,
Yeah. Well, you're talking about a mental patient, okay? I mean, the guy's not losing. But I will say, when I was asking him for specifics, he was coming out of the haze. The thing, when there's a caller that has mental illness, I don't give them the treatment like I would a normal liberal caller, okay? And with a lot of, that guy there is obviously very mentally ill, but he wasn't fully gone, because anytime I asked him for a specific, he wanted to get back into the delusion. He was waking out of the delusion. Men that are mentally ill quite often do not take their medications. And they go through these episodes. That guy is called many times, sometimes like that, about the Antichrist, and other times lucid, normal. And to me, it sounds like one of those days he hasn't been taking his medication. A lot of men with mental illness don't take medications for their mental illness because it makes they can't perform sexually. So they don't want to take their medications. But I'm thinking, who wants to perform sexually with somebody who's having a mental break like that, Talking about the Antichrist.
How can this person say Trump is that way? I mean,
because he's a crazy person.
The thing is, I'm a Catholic. Why is not Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi excommunicated?
Because we have a liberal pope. We have a liberal pope. That's why. Listen, I'm Catholic too, and communion is you're in communion with the church, and they don't just support abortion. They take action that caused them. Okay? Both Pelosi and Biden, and they should not be permitted to take communion. If I went to mass and they were there and they were giving communion, I would talk to my priest about it. If my priest gave them communion, I'd be ticked off.
I forget about it, but no. But the thing is, Jackie Kennedy. I'm older. I remember when the big news was Jackie Kennedy married Onassis. He was
yes.
Man, oh my God! And she was excommunicated from the church.
Was she really?
Yes.
I did not know that. Wow, I did not know that. Wow.
I remember. Well, I'm an old lady. All right? Check it out. Jackie was excommunicated from the...
Have you ever seen the photograph of Nancy Pelosi with President Kennedy?
No.
Oh, she was really young. She was like 20-something years old. You can look it up online, a picture with her with President Kennedy. She wasn't bad looking back then, but everybody looks good in their 20s, except Hillary Clinton. Thanks.
Had a work done on her face.
Oh.
Come back again.
What is she now? She looks like she's 79 instead of 99? I mean.
She looks like an old bag.
Yes.
Stiff as a board.
Well, hey, listen, don't criticize her. Her husband has weird things going on when she's not home and out of town. I feel sorry for her almost. I'm kidding. All right, listen, we're out of time. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back Monday morning, and if you're on hold, you'll be first in line on Monday morning's program. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane is here. I'm Brian Craig. God bless America, and of course, God bless the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. See you Monday.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Take care.